Hello everybody. Welcome to my World of Warcraft stream, where we will be talking about World of Warcraft, the game. And we will also be voting. Oh god, dude, bro. I can't believe that happened. It was so fucking funny. Max, what is World of Warcraft? It's an amazing game. It's been out for 20 years. Actually, you know what? No free ads. No free ads. Pay me. Pay me, World of Warcraft. Bro, I'm on a pay me train. Guys, I have been absolutely fucking raking it in the last week. Holy shit. I have been obtaining currency in the last week. So World of Warcraft, if you want me to promote your game, you know where to fucking reach me. You know? How much have you raked in? I can't tell you that without having to kill you. But it's a lot. Let's just say the amount of digits is more than 5. You guessed right. 10 million. Now that would be crazy though. $20 million. Max, are you ready for an undercover raid? Dude, right now I wouldn't even get invited to one, unfortunately. I need to make my guy bigger. Which means I need to get an insane amount of gilded crests. Actually, I wonder how much it would cost to get someone to just carry me through 8s while I stream and just talk. So I don't have to, like, actually do boring-ass dungeon content. The ASCII art looks great on stream. Oh yeah, it does look kind of ridiculous, doesn't it? Wait. How come I can't actually move my chat box here? Reset. It's like not letting me... Huh. Someone give me a sub so I can not watch these fucking ads. Holy fuck. Damn, bro. You don't like the ads like that? Alright, I got you. Wait, how do I gift a sub to someone? It doesn't actually show up when you click on their name in chat. Gift a sub specifically, and then I have to type your name. That's so inefficient. Wait, does it even let you do it? Gift a specific user. There we go. X Tyrus. Got you, buddy. Sorry, a subscription is not available for that user. Bro, someone else just... Bro, fuck you, man. What are you doing? That was supposed to be my shit. Come on, man. Ooh, I got a bunch of crazy Twitch bounties today. Let's see. What does it want me to do? Stream Starship Troopers Extermination for 1 hour. Stream Frag Punk for 1 hour. Stream Next Gen Shooter Stranova for 1 hour. Stream The Glitch for 1 hour. And stream the Heretic Trailers and Discuss for 5 minutes. Wait, what? Wait, the 5 minute... I never do the hour long. All of those bounties are for 4,000, by the way. See, this is what doesn't make sense about Twitch bounties. They will pay me $4,000 to play Starship Troopers Extermination for 1 hour, Fragpunk, Next Gen Shooter, Stranova, and Glitch for 1 hour. But they'll also pay me $4,000 to watch a trailer and discuss it for 5 minutes. I mean, fuck it up. I'll make $4 grand in 5 minutes. Fuck it. Why not? Fuck it. I'll do that later. I don't like doing the hour ones. It takes away from the content to like completely play a new game, but it's like nothing to just watch them for 5 minutes. I'll do it at the end of stream though. Remember that time you had to get Domino's and listen to their rap song? Yeah. Yeah, they made me browse the website of Domino's for 10 minutes, order food, get pizza, and then they had a rap song. Oh, Men's Warehouse. Dude, you guys see Khadgar on the left here? Young Money Khadgar? This guy? Bro, the reason that was... Okay, so Men's Warehouse paid me to do a 10-minute look at our website kind of shit. And they were like, put a picture of you and we'll put a tux on you. So I just put a picture of Khadgar, but they left one of his feet out. And look at his fucking little baby hand. Look at his right hand, bro. Look at his fucking... They gave him like a little fucking T-Rex hand. Fucking goes crazy. Guys, did you know that we killed one of the hardest, or the hardest boss ever, Queen Ansarek, 2 weeks ago? And even still to this day, only 8 guilds have killed it, and many of them have killed it with 1, 2, or 3 more weeks of gear than we had. And we still have the fastest kill of all of them by far. Dude, we're fucking insane. We're fucking insane. Dude, I think Ansarek might be the best boss we've ever played. Dude, multiple guilds have killed it now, including guilds that only raid 6 hours a night and normally kill every end boss with less pulls than Echo and Liquid does, and we still have the lowest pulls on Ansarek. While creating the strat for everyone as well. Absolute fucking beast shit. I'm fucking hyped now. Let's stream. Max, it's because of you. Bro, I'm a beast for sure, but that boss is a personal like consistency skill check. That boss is just a you reduce the amount of pulls you have by just having people that are sick at the game. I think what that boss showed is that we have the best players in the world, and I don't think it's close. And as long as I don't grief strategy, we'll just smoke everybody. All right, anyways. Let's get weird. Let's get fucking weird. Guys, I turn off this Diablo shit. By the way, Diablo 4 fucking owns right now. But I might play it later today. Okay, my dogs are hype right now. I know a lot of people haven't played it cuz like no one's done with the raid yet, but yeah, so they got a new bark box last night. So they're kind of fucking hype right now. Actually, wait, let me go get a... I need to go get a drink. Can I go get a drink? Or else I'm gonna die. Maybe you're back. Hey, Rappy. Hey, little buddy. Hey. Reptar. 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 Dude, look at this dog. Dude, I need to gain some weight. I lost like 10 pounds with bronchitis. And I'm pretty sure a bit of it was muscle too. Because I wasn't like eating anything, like 0 protein. I'm pretty sure I lost a couple pounds of muscle. I need to gain like 15 pounds. So I'm about to get big. I mean, you could just eat a shit ton of ice cream. No, I want to gain muscle, not fat. I'm gonna eat a shit ton of meat and exercise extra. Free Ozempic? Dude, okay. Losing weight is great, but losing weight the wrong way is never good. Like, losing weight because you're extremely sick is not good weight to lose, you know? Like, that's not ideal. That your body has a... I'm still feeling the effects of that. I'm really fatigued. My muscles are like sore for extra long. Are you feeling a little better since your last visit to the doctor? Dude, Potty C came out today, and I went and looked at how I looked last week versus this week, and even in 7 days, I mean, I feel infinitely better. What did you catch, though? So the best... So I know I either had RSV or COVID based on symptoms. I tested negative for COVID twice, so I'm pretty sure it's RSV, although it is still possible I had COVID. Wait, why is my stream dropping frames right now? Why is it doing that? That was weird. It stopped, but... So I got RSV or something like that, just some kind of really nasty respiratory illness. And then, either due to me not taking care of myself or still being during the race and I had to just push through it and not rest enough, it kind of transferred into full-on bronchitis. I was scared, and my doctor said that you have bronchitis and it might be turning into pneumonia, which is pretty common. I took some antibiotics, and I think if I ever was going to get pneumonia, I don't think I ever got pneumonia. I think I just had really, really bad bronchitis. Like, I have to the T bronchitis. And I'm still getting over that, and that's been fucking destroying me. Yeah, but I feel a little bit better now. I started playing hockey again yesterday because I know I had to get back into it. I went and saw one of my trainers, and that was maybe the hardest skate of my life. I was still super fatigued. I didn't have really high blood pressure or blood sugar, so there wasn't a lot of like glucose for my muscles. You know, I was extremely sore. I was breathing with half of my lungs. Best way to describe it is like I can't breathe in above 70% of my lung capacity, or else I'll start violently coughing. And I can't breathe like using like the bottom 20%. So I'm going from like 70 to 20 to breathe. And in a very cardiovascular sport like hockey, that's really hard. Dude, I was like bent over. I couldn't do anything. So that was pretty tough, but I needed to get back into it. But yeah. What the fuck is a Lithrune? Oh shit. That's some Diablo shit. Yeah, we'll probably we might play Diablo later, honestly. If it was COVID, you got to make sure to not push yourself. It'll take way longer to recover. Yeah, I don't know. I just have no meaning in my life if I'm not playing hockey every day, so I'm just going to do it and figure it out. I don't have any other way to do it. It might not be the best thing to do, but I would hate my life if I wasn't doing it, so it's unfortunate. Have you heard from Nick? He survived Milton. Yeah, Nick was playing Diablo all day yesterday. I wonder if he's playing it right now. Yep, Nick is playing D4 right now, so seems to be all right. He's playing from a raft. Yeah. What, Ella? Such a big girl. Max, do you have any wishes for the next raid that Blizzard would have to do differently, or did that work for you? Just as always, just like tune the bosses better. Some of the bosses were really poorly tuned. We're not doing a Race World First Q&A today. Sorry, I've been I realize I haven't been interesting enough to where it devolved back into that. Dude, I haven't streamed WoW in like 4 days. A lot has happened. I found out on yesterday on the podcast, apparently there's some new WoW Twitter drama, which is something I don't understand. I don't know who any of these people are. And it always seems super high schoolish, but apparently Dratnos loves it. We have... dude, like, Preheat, a good friend of mine, former raider here, and I've hung out with him in real life multiple times. I used to live really close to him in Austin. He did, like, WoW gameplay as Subway Surfers for a, like, Tim Walls. If you guys are in Europe, most of you are from Europe, or that wouldn't know who Tim Walls is like a vice presidential candidate, and he was doing a rally. And then, dude, it's the funniest shit I've ever seen. It's the funniest shit ever. Like, Tim Walls is, like, in 20% of the screen, and then Preheat is just, like, playing WoW. It's the most Black Mirror shit I've ever seen. So that was super interesting. We can look at that, and the response to that was absolutely insane. Let's see. The bag must have been insane. Oh, he didn't make any bag from that. That was a volunteer. So Preheat's wife, Brittany, is a, like, coordinator for the Democratic Party. She used to be very involved in the Texas Democratic Party, and I think it might be national now. So that was probably just set up by her. That he didn't make any money for that, yeah. But it doesn't really matter. But yeah, dude, seeing the takes around that was absolutely crazy. We can talk about that a little bit. I don't want to, like, somehow our stream can usually always discuss politics in a non-controversial way, but we, like, never do it. It happens like once every, like, year or something. We're not gonna like actually do that, but I think looking at that is worth doing, not because of anything political, just because it is. I mean, it's just fucking insane. Like, it's insane that that happened, and it's also insane to see the responses to it for sure. Usually there's only like one or two weirdos in the stream. We just ban them and keep on going. It's like two types of weirdos when you discuss anything related to politics. It's someone who unironically is like, you know, in a propaganda machine of either side, and like they don't think a lot about it, but like either their family or the people around them or the news they watch just makes them think a certain thing. That's one person. Or there's another person, which I want to point out is a really tough look. The other person is someone who doesn't care about politics at all, probably doesn't live in this country, but they describe themselves as an online troll, and they just keep saying things to make other people mad. And maybe I'm like too old or something, but I think that's one of the worst looks ever. Like, I think the person you are parroting by trolling and trying to make mad, you are so much fucking more deranged and weird than they are by doing that. How many pairs of glasses do you have? So I got like 3. They're all from Gentle Monster. This is one. We got the Harry Potter glasses, the Harry Potter. And then we got like 2 other ones that are kind of similar, but they're like thicker frames. These are like real thin ones. The Harry P. What is it? Dumb as fuck to volunteer for a political stream, period. That's my take. Really? Like, if you think that... Like, because the only person who's involved in this at all is Preheat. WoW had nothing to do with this. WoW had nothing to do with it. But if Preheat and his wife works for the Democratic Party, and he can volunteer his time to support a cause that he probably believes in, why is that stupid? Right? I feel like that's kind of what, like, that just makes sense, you know? Like, you can say you think it's dumb that anyone's doing that or whatever, but, like, I don't know. Like, volunteering your time to something you believe in is admirable, I think. Right? You believe in D4? Amen to that. Dude, speaking of which, didn't they announce some crazy transmogs for that? I thought I heard that. There we go. Garrosh, Malfurion, the Lich King, Illidan, Jaina, and Boumsamdi World of Warcraft character cosmetics debut. Okay, that just shows Gorehowl. So if you're a barb, you can get a full Garrosh thing. That one looks okay. Druid, Malfurion. Dude, I found out recently that Malfurion is Illidan's brother. I think it was fucking crazy. Okay, and then later we have Necromancer being the Lich King. That looks pretty sick. Rogue being Illidan. Okay, it looks kind of goofy, right? I feel like the weapon looks sick. I feel like the Mog just looks goofy as hell. It just doesn't look right. And then Sork gets Jaina. I mean, this also kind of looks... Okay, this looks sick. Boumsamdi looks sick. Illidan had a thing for Tyrande. Who's Tyrande related to? Let's learn something else today. That's Malfurion's wife? No, I don't think so, because they don't share the last name. It's well known in Warcraft culture that you take the last name of the person you betroth. Okay. Oh, dude, I keep forgetting the 20th anniversary shit is coming up. That's going to be pretty major changes. Dude, I was thinking about making my DK really geared. But then I think isn't Ret going to be, like, super crazy? Like, isn't Ret going to be, like, insanely fucking strong when these changes happen? And if that's the case, then I want to prepare for that, you know? Dude, it's funny how little I know about the game after the race. Like if there was a race happening in a month, I would be able to tell you exactly what classes would be good and what classes aren't. But because there isn't a race, there's no reason for me to know this. So I actually just have no clue. I kind of want to, like, read over the changes again, maybe. Max, have you ever discussed about being the biggest Fodom reroller? What, me? You think I'm the biggest Fodom reroller? I am kind of. I mean, so for me, playing the game and playing a class is really fun. But also for me, and maybe you guys could admit this about yourself too, but doing massive fucking damage is also really fun. So, like, if you really like a class, but that class isn't really tuned well right now, but you like another class that is, I would want to do that. So that could be considered Fodom rerolling. But really, I just like all the melee classes, and I enjoy playing different ones. I'm also, I think, kind of a unique person when it comes to WoW, where I think a lot of people identify a class as their main. Monk is kind of like that for me, but it really isn't. I've killed the most Race World first bosses, I think, on a Guardian Druid and a Blood DK. It's tied. Like, progression bosses, I've played, like, so many things. I've always been like that. So I don't really have any identity of class. So therefore, I just play whatever I think is fun, primarily, and then also if it's really good. Like, if something's just really good and not fun, I'll never play it. It needs to be really good and really fun. So that's usually the move for me. Plus, also, there's another reason to play Fodom in WoW, and it's because there isn't any kind of solo queue Mythic Plus. Like, the only way to actually play Mythic Plus is to queue for it in the group finder, and the queues are skewed towards not necessarily the best classes, although it usually is. It's what the community considers the best classes. So, like, you actually can't play WoW if you like Mythic Plus without playing something that's popular. I mean, that's just a fact, or you're at least playing it a lot less. So there's another reason as well. Bro, Mythic Plus is so abysmal right now. Yeah, I know. I've heard it a lot. Max, were you always a raid leader, or did you main a world first? I mean, participate in a kill. I was a raid leader while playing the game, far before we ever did the 21st man shit, yeah. I wasn't a raid leader forever, though. Like, actually, like, 10 years ago, actually, 12 years ago, I was, like, the most selfish, greedy DPS player you've ever met. Like, I was really fucking good, and I knew I was good. Sometimes on bosses, I would just play my music so loud I couldn't even hear the raid leader. I loved my parses, and it was my identity as a person. And then, I don't know, you kind of just grow up and that stops mattering to you. And then also, I was in Limit, we made Limit, but then our raid leader and guild leader quit right before an expansion. And, you know, like, someone just kind of had to be the leader. I wasn't initially the guild master when that happened. Jet was, but, like, I was the leader. Like, not appointed leader, but, like, I was the leader. And then eventually I just became the actual, like, leader and raid leader. And I was bad at it at first, and then you just have to do it a lot, and then you get better at it. I actually think I'm really, really, really good at raid leading in-game, which is an unfortunate skill to have, because the most optimal thing to do is to raid lead from outside the game because it's so involved. But I was definitely very, very good at doing both of those at the same time. What music did you listen to, though? Bro, in 2012, I was listening to the most basic-ass trance and EDM, like every other WoW gamer. Have you ever imagined it would become a sex cult like this? My stream? No. It just kind of happened. Is it a sex cult? Or is it just like a regular wholesome cult? Or are all cults sex cults? You know? There's not a lot of sex, let's be honest. Look, man. Advertisements are targeted. And you guys tell me all year round there's like condom ads on my channel. And all I'm saying is that means some people here are fucking. Because why else would it be, you know? It's gotta happen. Someone's gotta be doing it. Damn, what else is going on right now? Oh yeah, they announced those big changes yesterday. So, the other day, I did something. And I wasn't streaming at the time, so you guys are maybe finding out about this just now, or maybe at the beginning of the Potty C later. Or already. I tweeted the other day. So, actually, let me give you some backstory. So, I'm in Dorky's Discord. And I'm just sitting there talking with a few people, just cooking some shit up. And then Dorky just says, you know what, guys? 9s are too hard. And for most players. And there's too many players that can't upgrade their gear with Gilded Crests. Because they can only kill 2 heroic bosses a week to drop them. And 9s are too hard to get invited to. And at this point, if you don't have more than 619 eye level, you're not getting invited to them. And then when you do, it depletes and you only get 5. And they're super hard. So then I was like, Dorky, you're so right. I'm going to just tweet that and not give you any credit. So I did. This isn't my idea. I stole this directly from Dorky and didn't credit him. And it popped off and 3,000 people liked it. So that's good. And then I read, I don't know where these hotfixes are. Is it on the blue tracker? Here we go. Gilded Crests are now awarded at the beginning at Mythic +8. Or are now rewarded beginning at Mythic +8 instead of 9. Also, there's a bunch of Mythic Plus is too hard talk. So they buffed the positive thing the affixes give you. They nerfed the extreme power level jump that happens from an 11 to a 12. Which is, they definitely should have done that. Like, it made no sense that it was that strong, but yeah. And they're nerfing a few dungeons on the reset, I think, after this too. So, yeah, that's good. I mean, I'm not doing any Mythic Plus. Our whole guild finds Mythic Plus dreadfully boring. But I'm glad if it's super fucking crazy hard that they're nerfing it. And also, something else they should probably look at. I don't know if it's at every key level this is the case, but I feel like the 15-second death timer was asked for by nobody. Not to say that Blizzard should only make changes that players ask for, because oftentimes the best content creators, whether you're a game publisher or a streamer or whatever, are people who do what they think is cool and good and don't listen to their community at all. I just think it's had an objective bad relationship with the game. So I don't know if they should remove it, change it back to 5 seconds, 10 seconds, have it scale with key level maybe. I don't know, but definitely seems not good. Because, like, I think the way it affects people who are just farming crests is it makes you deplete more often, and you get less crests because of that. So it's a negative interaction. And then for high key players, what has every high key player complained about for the last 2 years? Oh, AUG is needed all the time because it doesn't matter actually about doing as much damage. You just need to not die. Okay, well, What happens when you triple the penalty of the death timer? Well, it's just like triple compounding on the problem of, oh, you just can't die to time these keys. And that's just not fun, man. So, I don't know. Just seems not awesome. But yeah, so they changed that. What do you guys think about that? We could maybe look at some subreddit. I haven't gone on Reddit a lot, but every time I do it on stream, it's insane content. So we could do a little Reddit run later. Dude, the more I was thinking about the politics thing the other day, and I basically posted like comments to this are insane because like WoW had nothing to do with this. Wowhead was just reporting the news. Bro, I think what actually caused a lot of people to be mad was actually because the Wowhead picture. The Wowhead picture had a vote here today thing on the grass. And I think people just saw the picture and they were like, WoW has politics in game. I think that's the best guess I think I have. Because if you look at this, it's just like, I play games to escape from fucking reality. Don't bring politics into my fucking game. Bro, no, Warcraft had nothing to do with this. This is literally just like one person's stream. The only person you could possibly get mad at is Preheat for being a Democrat if you don't like Democrats, right? Like, that's it. Are you mad at Wowhead for reporting the news? That's their job. I had someone bring that up in one of my tweets. They were like, where is it? Oh, yeah. This guy who's making up his own narrative. That was pretty good. I wonder if they would be reporting the same way if they were supporting the other candidate. Bro, could you imagine if there's a Trump stream that goes live? And either Trump is terrorizing the group finder or someone is playing Subway Surfers WoW over his rally. Bro, that's the most insane shit ever. They're absolutely going to report that. Right? I couldn't fucking believe that shit was happening the other day. That'd be something. Dude, that's what I thought what Tim Walz was doing. Dude, I don't know if I was the only person, but it didn't seem like... It seemed like Tim Walz was going to be on Preheat stream on some, like, character named Midwest Man, like, terrorizing the group finder or just, like, pugging keys, which would have been equally insane. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then it just turns out that WoW is Subway Surfers for boomers. It's actually crazy. Yeah, I think also after reading this too and looking at a lot of the things, because like if you look at any of the people that are super mad and they're like, you know, like, keep politics out of my fucking game. If you click on their their profile, it's just like nonstop giveaway retweets and like Trump supporters. So I think really what this was like, not keep politics out of my game, which I'm sure if it actually was in the game, which it wasn't, everyone would kind of be like, this is weird. It was more like, keep politics that I don't agree with out of my game, I think was most of... If you're trying to understand the outrage, I think that was the outrage from what I can tell. Because, like, Twitter skews in that direction, right? Because Twitter Blue goes to the top of comment sections. And Twitter Blue is vastly skews, like, Elon Musk style, right? So, like, you get that. But yeah, it was just kind of a wild read. There wasn't a lot of logic being applied to a lot of arguments here. Like, here's one that I didn't get. Where's one here? Most of us aren't American and don't want to hear about this shit ever, but we can't escape it from regular media. So we retreat to virtual spaces where we should never have to think about it. Invading people's escapism with unwanted politics, political messaging makes them upset. Bro. The only way you know about this, unless you specifically watched a Kamala Harris rally stream, is whether you saw someone tweet it. The only reason anyone knows about this is because it was tweeted. Unless you specifically were watching that stream. Bro, isn't the point of this website when you see something that you don't want to deal with is you just scroll right past it? If you see a tweet from Wowhead, just like scroll past it. It's the whole point of the website. And it's not in WoW at all. Why would you ever have to think about this again as someone from EU or NA? It just doesn't... It's just completely non-important. Like, the reality is you just saw something involved in politics, and even though you could have scrolled past it and continued on with your day, you were just like, ah! You just started fucking screaming for no reason. You're literally just getting mad at nothing. Bro, just, like, leave your computer or something if you're just getting mad, you know? It's insane. Show replies. I haven't read a lot of the replies. I was on a little tweeting storm here. Let's see. It's a gateway, though. Preheat invaded Harris stream with WoW. We need more. Yeah, it was more like that. It was more like not politics invading WoW. It was almost like WoW was invading. A single WoW streamer played WoW on something to do with politics. It's just not a big deal. It's a fucking gateway, though, so... Would you do a similar stream if you got paid? I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not, like, super political. So I don't think I would ever be someone who would volunteer my time to a candidate because I'm just, like... I don't feel strongly politically, really. But, like, Preheat, his wife works for the Democratic Party. If he's really, really strongly Democrat... I think it totally makes sense, by the way, for him to volunteer his time to something he believes in. That just makes sense. I don't even understand why that's controversial. You're asking me if I would do it? I just don't think I care enough about U.S. politics to ever do that now. He said paid? I mean, I get paid to do a lot of things. Like, I made a ton of money this last week doing 2 sponsored streams for 2 games that I really like. But, like, I get crypto game sponsors all year round for... 5 to 6 figures, and I never do them because I think it's a total scam, right? So I wouldn't, if you're asking me, would you just do anything for money? No, I decline things for money all the time if I think they're dog shit. So no. But if I was like really involved politically, like really involved, I would probably definitely use my platform for that. You're asking me, Max, would you use your platform for something you believe in and also you would get paid for it as well? Why would I not do that? But I just don't care as much about politics, so. Wouldn't have done Subway Surfers over a rally? Yeah, okay, yeah, that's maybe one thing. Because it's like, for what gain? I mean, it just looked... Did you guys see it? Dude, let me show, like, a clip of this. I don't even know where the fuck I would find a clip of this. Someone must have tweeted one, but, like... Dude, it's insane. It's... If you haven't seen it, you don't even have to care about politics to see. I think it's on Kamala... Oh, I don't want to... Okay, I'm risking doing something here. Because I treat my recommended channels tab as just an extended follower list. And if I go to a fucking political stream, it might fuck that up, so I really hope that doesn't happen, but let's slam it.
In the select.
No, not that. I just want to see the Subway Surfer. Here it is.
That will stop Trump and JD Vance here in our country.
There's so many things wrong with this. Like, it's... I'm sorry. It's bringing my cough back. Like, it's just someone pugging tens while there's a rally going. So it's, I guess, so what they're saying by this is we think, okay, so we want to spread our message on Twitch. So we don't think that Twitch could actually just watch a rally and get into the issues. No. We think they need to have some kind of other entertainment going on. Let's just throw World of Warcraft on the screen as the Subway Surfers to what Zoomers, the Zoomers Subway Surfers. For boomers, it's just fucking, it's just insane. Like, I remember seeing this, and it's just fucking insane. Like, I can't believe this happened. Max, it's literally pre-playing the game. Yeah, I know. It's fucking insane. Just a crazy fucking world we live in. I just can't believe that happened. I just feel like using WoW to reach younger voters is a misplay. It's not using WoW. It's using Twitch, because Twitch skews a lot younger. I was actually surprised. So if you actually look at classic WoW, that's very boomer. But retail WoW, I have a lot of, like, I was actually really surprised about this. My, like, average age demographic for a lot of my content keeps staying the same instead of growing older. And for whatever reason, there's just like a bunch of like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old people that just got into it in Shadowlands or Dragonflight or The War Within. And they just like get super hooked on it. And they're almost exclusively gameplay demons. They're not like lore people. But there's like a larger amount of people under the age of like 23 in my stream than you'd think. Now, I don't know if that's true about Preheat stream or whatever, but retail WoW definitely skews younger than you think, I think. Even though WoW generally is very old. Plus, I don't think the, like, Walls campaign probably thought it that deep. They're like, let's do a Twitch integration. Let's put video games on the same side as our thing. And they weren't like, all right, what's the video game with the youngest demographic? Oh, it must be World of Warcraft. That situation that you're thinking of just didn't exist. That never happened. They were like, someone wants to volunteer their time that knows someone in our campaign to play video games on Twitch while they're watching it and try it. If anything, I think it might have been successful. Not that I care about this, but it might have been successful just because of how crazy it was. Like, how many people saw this and were talking about it and maybe tuned in, not because someone was playing WoW, but because it was so fucking silly and insane. Like, it got crazy publicity, right? So, if that was the point, who knows? I have no clue. I do not care. Right, but that's fucking... It was just so insane. You also have to consider they probably don't want a shooter game going on besides the rally as well. Oh, so true, yeah. Dude, you remember when video games were starting to pop off? Do you remember, like, the random news segments you'd see on some local city news channel and, like, how video games are making people more violent and video games are just, like, basically video games are the devil kind of shit? I think that still happens with old people, but, like, it's just not nearly as pronounced. It's like when people said when we were young, they were like, television, like watching TV will turn your brain to mush. Right? That's just like what old people say about new things they don't understand. They're like, that has to be bad. Although, I will admit that I think that about like TikTok. And I don't know if that's like, if I'm the version of TV will turn your brain to mush that like I had when I was a kid. But then I reached out to a friend of mine that's a teacher, and he definitely gave me a lot of insight as to like how that affects kids today. I can actually read that to you. I read it to you guys a while ago. I'll read it again. I have to find it. I text this guy all the time, but come on. Holy shit, I text this guy all the time. Oh, here we go. Found it. So here's what I messaged him. Oh, I was meaning to ask you something, and if it's super long, I can wait until Saturday. This was months ago, but I was talking on my stream earlier about what social media appears to be doing to our youth, because it seems like they're just used to infinite dopamine and they probably find it hard to concentrate. Then I had someone point out that's exactly what old people used to tell us when we were kids about TV. It will turn your brain to mush, etc. What do you think about it being up close to them? Am I just an old person complaining about technology I don't understand, or is it actually bad? And here was their response. Normally I say the old people saying those things are just old and crotchety, but on this subject, the social media feedback loop is so strong that it is akin to drugs. The addiction to look at your phone and disappear for minutes to hours is insane. I worked at a private school for 10 years, and they were very anti-technology. The kids' attention span, quality of work, and happiness, which is somewhat subjective, were much stronger. The public school is a fight where 30% of the students are content to fail my class as long as I don't deny them access to their phones. And the level of toxic behavior is insane. A huge portion of my students have a primary account and then a troll account as well, and they try to entice their partners or others to see if they will flirt or cheat. Video games are addicting, but you actively engage the material. Social media is passive, and the material is often harmful. So, not good, right? Like, bad. Bad interaction. What is it? As a fellow teacher, I agree with him, and I'm seeing similar instances in my classroom. I work with 6th graders, yeah. Also, dude, I felt so insulted earlier. It was like, I saw a tweet that got 100,000 likes when I woke up today, and it was, I bet all the people who didn't install TikTok must feel like they have a PhD in being mature or something like that. And I felt so attacked because I've never installed TikTok. But I also don't think that makes me smarter than everyone. I just feel like I'm too stupid to have TikTok on my phone. Like, I know for a fact I would look at it for hours a day and I would waste my time. And that makes me scared of ever opening it. I don't think I'm mature. I just know that I'm immature and I would fuck it up if I did it, you know? So maybe I do have a PhD in being mature. Let's fucking go. I got called out. All good. All good. And I'm mad about it now. It happens. So I killed 4 out of 8 Mythic last week, and I opened my vault. And I didn't get the best shit ever. But I got something pretty good. You opened it off stream? Yeah, my box was on Tuesday, and I haven't streamed WoW since Sunday, I think. It's been almost a week because of D4. Dude, you know what I realized? Time trials for like the MDI or TGP, whatever it is, happen next week. Bro, that's so fast. I think I know why Blizzard is doing it. I think the only thing that really makes sense is they want all of the competitive Warcraft stuff to happen as close to the race as possible. Because the race is like this massive fucking enormous thing. And like, if the MDI were to happen like the next day, it would probably retain way more viewership than if it happened 2 months later. I think that's really the only reason they're making it so fast. But dude, like, almost no one's even done with their raid progression yet, which is not usually true of like MDI competitors by the time it normally happens. So definitely really interesting to see that. But also, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I have absolutely zero interest in watching the MDI or TGP. I'm like checked the fuck out of it. I don't care. But that doesn't really matter. Because there'll be like a lot of other co-streamers and things to watch, but I'm like almost certain I won't watch it. I'm just not into it. Max, have you gotten your cutting edge yet? Nah. We haven't even re-cleared Ansarek. We had like 4 people on vacation last week, so we only did 6 out of 8 Mythic. We haven't even re-cleared yet. But also, I'm not like in a rush to get cutting edge. I don't really care. No Echo means it'll be pretty open. Well, Echo hasn't won the... Maybe they did win the last one. I don't remember. Maybe it was mandatory. I don't remember. But they... Yeah, it's weird. You see viewers complain all the time. They're like, oh, this is so boring. Echo always wins the MDI. But also... So they're kind of implying, oh, so many more people would watch it if Echo wasn't here and there was just more competition. But, like, I feel like that's definitely not true. And I also even feel like it's not true for those people. Like, those people complain about the same comps all the time. And they complain about Echo. But, like, if Echo wasn't there, I think so many of them wouldn't even be there. So I don't even know what they're complaining about. They don't even know what they want. I mean, it'll still be really competitive. Like, mandatory was, you know, looked every bit as good as Echo did last year. I think they split wins. Also, I find it hard to believe that all of Echo won't be competing. Like, I've heard they won't be competing together as a team. But, like, I don't know. Gingy's, like, the most competitive person ever, right? Like, can you imagine Gingy just, like, not winning the race and then just sitting around and not competing until the next race comes out in anything? Like, that just sounds crazy to me. Like, I feel like he has to do that. It's, like, part of him, you know? Same thing with Now. Like, Now did the race. I doubt he'll do the race again. But if he's not doing the race, he's, like, just going to stream. He's not going to compete in anything. Like, that just... When you compete for so long, I feel like you'll just get bored and want to do it. Like, they may not do it this first season, but I don't know. I feel like some of them will probably join a team either together or separately. And, like, any team that has, like, Mirez on it, for example, bro, if you throw Mirez on literally any dungeon team, I bet they would be competitive to win. Right? What is it? They've said that they're not doing... Okay, I'm not saying this season, like... Also, I find it hard to believe that any Race World First competitors would want to even do the MDI or TGP at all because it's just so close. Like, there's no way you get done with the race and you're like, I want to do MDI prac now. Fuck that, right? So, that's not surprising. I'm just saying by the end of this expansion, I would bet any amount of money that members of Echo's MDI team will end up playing together or separately on someone's team in dungeons by the end of this expansion because you just can't stop doing stuff like that, you know? I mean, people really want it to be competitive, but Echo stomping every single time is boring and non-exciting as a spectator. Yeah, but what's also interesting as a spectator is repeat names and narratives, and you need people you care about, right? Like, it's actually part of the reason why, like, League has lost so much popularity in the States in the last, like, 10 years, is because you don't have a double lift on TSM. You don't have Sneaky on C9. You don't have Bjergsen. You know, you don't have people that you know over a long period of time that you can grow to care about, right? In a lot of LCS teams. And then people stop caring because, like, the team just changes every year and you don't have time to get attached to the people you're rooting for. Like, look at the race, right? Like, the race would be infinitely less popular if it wasn't, like, dude, look at our kill video from, like 2 expansions ago. It's, like, in the kills, like, 17 of 20 people are there. Like, people, every tier know that they can tune in to Fired Up and Shaq and Atlas and THD and 20 other people that have been here for years, right? There's a reason people root for us and for Echo. It's not purely competition. It's because they know the people. They know who they're rooting for, right? So in MDI and TGP, it's very similar. Like, yeah, oh, it's boring because Echo wins all the time. Yeah, but, like, you at least know who Echo is and you know what's at stake. So, like, there's actual stakes at what you're watching. Also, that's not true. Like, Echo has won a lot, but they, just like in the race where there's, like, a couple of teams that are really competitive, Mandatory has just been straight up, they have won and beaten them, and they have been competing at their same level for, like, 2 years now. Right? Like, saying that Echo, no one else has a chance is just not even true. Like, that's, like, you've watched that not be the case. So, I don't know. I think people will probably still watch the MDI without it, but I think it's going to hurt for a little bit because there's just less people that they know. Like, really, for people in any sport or popular thing that people watch, mostly sports, esports, whatever, it's driven by competition and high level of play, but, like, really, people need to, like, buy into the people and root for them over time. And I feel like maybe this is because of Echo's dominance. People don't know a lot of... MDI fans don't know a lot of MDI competitors. And losing Echo means they're going to lose some faces of what they expect to see when they go there, and that will hurt more than losing Echo as a team, in my opinion. So we'll see how that works. But like the best thing that could happen is there's, for the MDI specifically, is that some players come in, make a name for themselves, and hopefully stream so people can follow them in other ways, right? That really helps. Building a presence online is huge for people rooting for you, right? Like, JPC is probably the biggest example of this. Like, that guy created an entire fan base for himself, basically from nowhere. If he was streaming, people wouldn't have given infinitely less fucks about JPC when he joined this guild or competed in dungeons or anything, right? People have to care about the team, and they have to care about you. The team only goes so far. They have to know the people in the team. What is it? Echo has also 2 very prominent streamers with pretty big personalities, such as Genji and Now. Yeah, absolutely, and that really matters. Max, what do we have to do to get you to force Shaq to stream again? I can't force him to do anything. He doesn't want to do it. He's not going to do it. Which is crazy, by the way, because Shaq basically doesn't stream because he thinks it's slightly more fun to play games with your friends off stream, which is, I mean, that's just kind of true for most people. Some people really like streaming. Some people don't like it as much. He obviously doesn't like it as much, or else he would have still done it. But dude, Shaq would be a fucking millionaire. I think Shaq would be absolutely massive in the WoW category if he streamed. Bro, he had like hundreds of viewers back in Legion before Twitch even blew up. Like, that guy, before he was even a world first raider, like, that guy would actually, and he's like the most charismatic, funny person ever. He would actually be a millionaire. But he just doesn't care. He just wants to game, which is admirable. But also, it's a lot of money, you know? Here's what I got out of my vault. I got a 626. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is your BIS belt. So I got a BIS socketed belt, which is pretty hype. But the rest of my gear stinks. Shaq would probably beat you in viewership, to be honest. No, I agree with you. That doesn't offend me at all. We would have very, very different viewerships. You would watch me and Shaq for a completely different reason, but Shaq would be huge on Twitch. Are you going to try Windwalker Mythic Plus? Dude, I'm not going to... Guys, I'm not feeling like I just want to spam play Mythic Plus right now. Which is unfortunate, because that's the only way I can gear my character for undercover raid leading. Highly unfortunate. I guess I could do undercover raid leading without, like, topping the damage meters, but then also they just wouldn't invite someone who's 609, right? Without knowing it's me, and then that defeats the whole point. What does it just make a raid to funnel you? No, I mean, I can get all the gear. It's just I don't have the passion to farm out 500 gilded crests. I just don't want to do it. Or flight stones. It just sounds miserable. I just don't want to do it. Windwalker's pretty fun right now, but I don't know. The dungeons don't seem fun. I kind of want to play Frosty K. That looks really fun and they're really strong, but I just don't want to do the like easy monotonous gearing tasks. It just doesn't sound interesting to me. It's hard. I don't know. It's hard to describe the feeling. Like if I was just starting the season the same with everyone else, it'd be easy. But like knowing that you're like weeks behind when you start, it's just like such a grind of content I don't find fun. And then also it's like the feeling of you've already beat the game. Like the most challenging and popular thing that happens is the race, and we just smashed that. 2 weeks later, still have the fastest kill and with the least amount of pulls or time than anyone, including guilds that only raid 6 hours a night. There's no higher mountaintop to reach. It's kind of it's like, dude, I don't know how to describe this. It's like, imagine if like during the NFL season, right now it's an entire season into the playoffs, into the Super Bowl. But just imagine if you just played the Super Bowl right away and then you just played the season after, but there's nothing to gain. That's like what it is for me to play WoW in a way. It's like the motivation just isn't there because there's nothing to strive for, if that makes sense. It might sound stupid, but that's the best way I can describe it to you. Well, started my Windwalker again today for the first time since BFA. I'm so glad they brought back Strike. Oh, dude, Windwalker's so fun to play. Maybe once I just start doing it, it'll be more fun. I don't know, but definitely the biggest problem is knowing that I'm only really going to have fun playing the character once I have fully capped out gilded crests and stuff to apply it to. And knowing how long it will take of doing non-fun content for me to do that is enough for me to not want to do it. It just doesn't sound fun, and I don't know if the payoff will be there if I do it, you know. I'm surprised and a little bit shocked to see that my own Windwalker Monk main has better gear than you do, and I haven't even set foot in a Mythic Plus or a Mythic Raid yet. Does that surprise you? For the first 2 weeks of the raid, I'm figuring out everything for our guild, so I'm not actively playing any of my characters. Including Delves. I'm not doing anything. And then the race is over, and I did one viewer heroic where I was traded whatever dropped, and which was 4-piece, but it wasn't like I didn't get any off pieces or anything. So like, I don't know. Is it really surprising that you just have played the game and I haven't? So it shouldn't be surprising. Do you even like playing the game besides the race? Yeah, I do. I mean, we did the race in Amirdrasil, and then I played Havoc GH for like 3 months. Right? Of course I do, but also, it seems like the dungeons right now are less fun than dungeons were then. It sounds, at least. But yeah, I mean, I do struggle to find motivation to actually play the game when the first thing you do at the start of the patch is the most challenging and, like, rewarding thing. You, like, are with all your friends and you achieve this thing. You get to the mountaintop and, like, just doing monotonous dungeons after that. I mean, you can understand the motivation is not the same, right? Like, the thing you work towards is already done and you succeeded. Maybe it sounds stupid. I'm trying to just explain it the best way I can. It's definitely, the drive isn't there. State of Mythic Plus right now is absolutely no fun. Yeah, it doesn't help that seems to be the case as well.
Play a vital role in the upkeep of
Why not be the 6th player on a Mythic Plus team? Oh, I've done multiple MDIs. I would compete in MDI if so the thing with MDIs for me and for us when we did it was The cups are fun. Time trials are not fun. And the 2 to 3 weeks you spend practicing for 10 to 15 hours a day before you even are doing time trials is the most unfun, not sustainable thing ever about it. And that's the reality. Like, you have to do that off stream or you have no chance. And I just can't not stream for 3 weeks, so that makes it pretty impossible for me to ever do it. I've done it, though. Will the practice time be as much with static dungeon affixes? Yeah, for sure. A permaban on a subscriber? That's wild. Oh, did someone get perma'd? What did you say? Baby rage, my life is hard playing video games. I mean, that definitely was a weird message. I don't know why he got perma'd, though. He's been subbed for 1 month. Let's see. I mean, he has a questionable chat history. He's talking about some sketchy stuff in the chat history. Adding someone because in your past life you were a massive piece of crap and now the toll must be paid. Adding just some random person. Adding another person. I'm sure the people around you are seeing how stupid you are. Yeah, this person's a piece of shit. Dude, W-ban. Peak miserable person that is only that only finds happiness in coping with that by making other people as miserable as them, or trying to. Which I think when I was younger, when you realized people were like that, you hated them, but I feel like now it's like more sad than anything. It's like actually sad if someone's life situation is in a point where the best way to cope with themselves being miserable is to make other people miserable. Like you just realize their life sucks and that stinks. Still no excuse for under any circumstances trying to make other people's lives miserable, but it does make you sad that their life is like that. Like same thing with douchebags. Like I told you guys, I had met someone like in the creator space that I did a few commercial shoots and like content shoots with that like would like Rolex check cameramen and like tell people that his watch costs more than what they make in a year, which like you're hearing this and you're like, all right, this person's the worst fucking person of all time. And that's what I thought for a really long time. And then I had like a long conversation with them one time and I realized that the only reason they do that is because they're deeply insecure and they have very low self-esteem. And the only way they think that you'll like them is if they know that you make a lot of money or are popular. And then when you look at it like that, yeah, the way they act around people is very douchebaggy, but it's because they literally hate themselves and they have no self-value and they think they just want to be liked. You know? And that's so sad, bro. Like that's like peak fucking sad. That's sadder than anything. You want me to repair? All right, fine.
Step closer and don't mumble.
Dude, how much are Mythic BOEs going for? That could be a quick quick little boost to the eye level. They're probably hella expensive. Wait, they're so cheap? Right? 700K? I might have to hit up the token some more, but... Dude, I'll buy that shit. Throw it in the old catalyst? Little uppy? W. Someone just gave me bleach. Is that a threat, buddy? Yo, where's the catalyst at? I haven't catalyzed anything yet. Are you guys mad that I just bought a Mythic BOE and I don't even know where the catalyst is? Literally right below you by the big hammer. Like here? Ah, his name is Catalyst Steward. Yeah, give me Mythic tier. W. He just Rolex checked all of chat. Fucking what's up? Check out the watch though. I'm not a watch guy. You know what I mean? Dude, what else should I catalyze, by the way? I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, you really don't want to use tier chest, right? It doesn't have haste on it. And I actually have a 613 one with haste. So, like, ideally, I'd want to catalyze my helm, right? But then I'm, like, catalyzing a non-mythic piece, which sounds like shit. Oh, wait, the helm is also crit verse. Hold up. Oh, never mind. Okay, I can just save that. I didn't realize that. They're both crit verse, but the helm is high crit, right? And verse is better than crit, so... Max Bart releasing the timeline add-on is the biggest W since the Walmart strike. Bro, I haven't even... Wait, did we cause a Walmart strike? Do I have that? /LR. Oh, I do have it. W. Yeah, I think how it works is... you can just, like, if you're on this fight and you're like, okay, I'm really struggling with the second nether rifts, I need to remember to place my transcendence or something, you just click that part in the fight, and then you set a duration, and then it can either do a text countdown, it'll have a certain spell. Let's say you want to, let's say I'm a monk and I want to always Tiger's Lust this. I can set it to be Tiger's Lust, and then it'll show up on my stream to Tiger's Lust, let's see, 5 seconds before I'm supposed to use it. And it'll stay on my screen until I put the button on cooldown, and then you can add a glow and a text-to-speech if you want as well. So you can kind of set, like, personal reminders for yourself throughout raid fights. It was something our raiders used this year, and Bart made that was really, really good. So if you guys want this, we weren't actually initially going to make this public, but then our add-on creator was like, hey, could I do this and maybe like put it on a Patreon so I can like have a way to support myself? I'm like, dude, absolutely. You should absolutely get supported for the hard work you do. So I think how it works is it's on a Patreon, but you don't need the Patreon as yourself as an individual. I believe one person in your entire guild needs to have the Patreon, and it works for everyone in your guild, I believe is how that works. I don't even know where to go to Patreon, but I think the $5 tier gets you access to Liquid's Weak Aura pack, and that also includes in a future tier, for the first time ever, you'll get it available from us as soon as we kill the boss, rather than waiting until after the tier. And then also, the $10 tier just gives your entire guild access to the Liquid Reminder pack. Having add-ons on paywall is TOS. So I'm not super familiar with what's TOS and what's not in regards to that. It's him doing this for his... Liquid doesn't make any money from this. I just feel like add-on creators should be supported for the amount of time and effort they put in. Also, if you don't feel like this isn't worth it, obviously, then you wouldn't want to pay for it, and then that wouldn't be controversial. It's more like... You know, I just want it for free. It wouldn't be there for free, I don't think. We are only doing that. So here's the deal. Like, if it is against TOS to paywall anything like that, we know that there are add-ons that are paywalled currently that have been for a really long time, and they're not being punished. So if he's doing this, you're basically saying, hey, most times when the TOS isn't enforced and other people are doing it, you're just going to find out. You know, if he gets punished for that or whatever, you know, so be it. But TOS rules are really only, you have to enforce them for them to make sense, right? So if Blizzard doesn't enforce it, but it's been in the TOS forever, then makes sense. And all I'll say about the add-on supporting thing is there's a lot of people who say that add-on developers should be supported, right? Remember, this was a big conversation around CurseForge, or I think it was CurseForge when they like basically got control of that, and they were going to give some kickbacks through ads to the developers based on downloads, I think. I remember people just saying like, yeah, dude, add-on developers should be supported. Some of these people do this like full-time job level of effort to get these add-ons created. And I think they should be supported. And maybe some of you guys do too. But all I'm saying is a lot of people argue for the supporting of add-on developers, but as soon as they have to pay for an add-on they want, immediately they're like, no, I should have this for free. And you can't really have it both ways, right? And as far as something being against the TOS, there's been a lot of things for a long time that have been against the TOS that aren't enforced. And really, as a personal user, that doesn't affect you, right? That's like on Blizzard's end. I personally feel that people who are putting, and this isn't just an add-on thing, if people are putting in an insane amount of effort into something that people like so much that they would be willing to pay for it, I think that it is at an adequate price, right? Because if you simply didn't think it was worth it, it wouldn't be controversial to you that it would be behind a paywall, right? I think it's good enough to where people would maybe want to pay for it, and it wouldn't be public otherwise. I think it totally makes sense to support him. I think Bart is great. He's really smart. And that's what he's decided to do. And I also don't think it's an egregious price. I think he's not charging every single person $10 to use this reminder add-on. He's charging an entire guild $10. It's completely up to you whether you think that's worth it or not, but if it's not, you just don't get it and you don't even think about it, right? Is he cute? Oh, yeah, he's very handsome as well. So I think it's fair. I think your guild gets insane value from that for $10 total for your whole guild. So I support him for sure. It's insane for my guild. We used it last night. Ooh, W paid chatter. Who the fuck cares if someone charges? Really, the only person who should be mad about anything being potentially against TOS in this kind of scenario is Blizzard. The reason that people are mad about it and are citing it is because what they're really mad at is that they're not getting a really cool add-on for free, even though what they're kind of telling you internally by being mad about it is they actually do think it's worth the money. They just don't want to pay for it or have someone in their guild paid for it. And they're using the, oh, it's behind TOS as a way to express outrage about it rather than it just being what it truly is about, which is that they just want it for free. In my opinion. I think Bard is great. I think he made a great tool that is super helpful for people. We had him make it for us internally. He asked for permission to release it publicly so he can get support for something that he put in a ton of time and effort into, and I completely support him in that. I hope people buy it, and I completely agree with it, just in case you're wondering. W. Bart. Just tuned in, throw the link. Yeah, I'll throw the link. It says Patreon. Well, let me actually find the link. Patreon Liquid Tools. I don't know what the actual URL is. Here it is. Oh, it's actually exactly that. W. Bart. Max, do you intend at some point to try Throne and Liberty? No, I don't. So it's one of those games that kind of just came out during the race, so I didn't really have a chance to play it in the first place. Because, like, playing it late is kind of cringe. But it's also just not the kind of game that I usually like. To me, it seems like a BDO-like game, just in the way that it's like a PvP-focused Eastern MMO. I don't like those games at all. I just don't find them interesting. So other people do, and that's great. I don't want it to be bad. I hope all games are great, because it makes every other game better. I've watched a little bit of it. It just doesn't look like a game I would find super fun. So I probably won't be playing it. I wonder if it would be possible to make a liquid reminder add-on for Mythic Plus. I feel like it'd be a lot more difficult because it's not on a strict timeline. It's based on when you pull things, but like a lot of these timelines are not dynamic. It is because you can push bosses at different time. It's based on bigwigs timers and like boss transition phases. It takes a long time to actually make this accurate, right? Like for example, on Ansarek, like this works all the way for P2, P3, and everything, right? But like P2 and P3 are variable. It depends on when you push certain things. P2 depends on when you finish the P1 intermission. P3 depends on when you finish P2. And the add-on works with that. So like if you do this here, it may not exactly be at 6 minutes and 9 seconds, but on the very first Queen summons, you will get whatever note you want to put here. So I think like having this for making this for Mythic Plus would be really good. Like imagine if you could go through a Mythic Plus dungeon, see a general timeline, and it's like the first, second, and third cast of this certain mob, or this, it'll have bosses in between the trash, and it'll probably load per pack, and you can like set very specific notes at certain times of trash pulls and stuff like that. It would actually be like really, really good, but it would take forever to make that. Max, and another one, have you seen the Team Liquid League video for Worlds? It was a great one. Do you interact with other teams in the org? Not super. I don't see them all the time. I mean, so whenever I go down to the facility, the league team is there. Like, I've talked to Spawn multiple times. I've done a commercial shoot with Yeon. Or Jan, I don't know how you say his name, sorry. I did a couple of things with Bjergsen when he was with TL. I did some stuff with Bwippo. Like, every time I'm at the facility, I'll say what's up if they're, like, eating and I'm just in there for whatever reason. But I don't, like, actively see them. They have this one newer guy, the, like, APA guy. It was really funny. Him and I have, like, actually bumped into each other a few times, and I mean that in a literal sense. Like, I've been walking down a hall, and he's been walking down a hall. And then we've just bumped into each other. And, like, I didn't know who he was at the time. And he certainly has no idea who I am. So, like, we just know each other as the people we keep bumping into. But we don't know who each other are. It's fucking goated. I, like, found out it was him, like, a year later. So that's good. And, yeah, I've played ping pong with Core JJ one time. Couple years ago for like literally a minute, but I'm not like super tight with them. I don't know them really well. Max, do you know anyone from the Dota team? I believe the Dota team is housed out of our Netherlands facility, so I'm not around them a lot. However, they have been in the TL facility before, and I did say hi to them. They won TI. Yeah, I'm aware, yeah. Any chance of a Race World First discussion with Scripe and Roger? It's probably really unlikely. There's not really a lot to discuss either. Like in previous raids, you're usually doing bosses at the same time as another person. That like didn't really happen this raid. I think there's a like our guilds have gotten along better recently, like in the last year. But I think the like I think both of our guilds view the sneak.lua thing very differently. And that's a pretty big pain point at the moment. And I also, we're really, really not happy with what Genji did with the fired up thing during the race. Like at all. So, yeah, I don't think so. You know, like there's always respect as competitors, but I just don't think we're probably going to be on a stream right now cooking up strats and shit. We're probably not going to do that. It's just competition, man. Competition gets real intense. So. Max, do you ever see yourself working for Blizzard? I don't think so, no. So, like, video game, like, Blizzard salaries aren't super high, so I would take a pretty big pay cut to ever do that, and I would also be, like, I would have no idea. I would be so bad at my job. Right? Like, I don't even know what I could do there that would be even remotely better than what anyone they have that does it already, and I would be accepting significantly less money to do it. Which doesn't make any sense, realistically. That being said, what I would love to do is if I ever wasn't competing in the race, because I can't do this if I'm competing in the race, I would love to just, like, go and watch them design fights. Like, just be a fly on the wall and just see what it's like to be a Blizzard developer making fights. I think that would be super interesting. I wouldn't want to get paid for it or anything. I don't care about that. I would just want to, like... observe and see how that works. I think it's really cool. But I obviously couldn't do that if we were like about to do that raid. That would not be fair. Have you designed any fights yourself or thought about cool mechanics that aren't in the game? No, I would have no idea how to design a fight. Like, for me, I'm like super basic. If I were to ever design a fight, I would just do Lei Shen over and over again. I would just make Lei Shen... because I feel like they haven't done it enough. And what I mean by that is just making a boss where... Like, you guys know the Lei Shen concept, right? There's, like, 4 sides of the room. It's kind of like Kurog, but a lot better. There's, like, 4 sides of the room, and a certain mechanic is amplified by charging a certain platform. And it can charge up to 2 times, and in the last phase, you, like, do... The mechanics are based on what you build. It's a build-a-boss. So P1 and P2 are really hard. But where you decide to fight the boss in P1 or P2 will empower certain mechanics to be in the last phase. Like, for example, the top 4 guilds that killed Lei Shen, I think 3 of them did the fight completely differently with a completely different ability. Like, think about Ansurek, right? Think about Web Blades. Think about, like, the tank mechanic, Liquefy. I guess there aren't a lot of things that actually transfer through the whole fight. But, like, just imagine that... Or maybe Nexus Princess, like... The daggers as a mechanic, the suck as a mechanic, and the Twilight Massacre as a mechanic. Imagine you could drag her to a certain part of the room, and you could make the daggers harder, or you could make the suck harder. And like it's about figuring out exactly what works, and you can make whatever version of the boss works best for your guild. I just think bosses like that are so creative and cool. And I wish they would just make more of them. Although I think it's harder in the Race to World First era to actually do things like that, because it's only creatively fun for one guild, us, and then everyone else just does what we do. Like this, there was an example of this, right? Like like there was a boss called Lihivam in Sepulchre. Okay? And the whole point of this fight was the boss would do like a short phase and then it would go into an intermission. And then whichever one of these ads you killed in the intermission, there was like 3 ads or whatever, and if you killed, like, depending on what bosses you or what ads you killed, it depended on what ads you had to deal with later. So you could make the fight however you wanted to. Now, we loved this fight, and it was super, super fun for that exact reason. But other guilds never felt that way, because we basically killed we changed what ads we were killing like 5 times in progression. So we were constantly like adapting and learning a different version of the fight to try to make it easier. So we loved this fight, but every other guild in the world didn't go through that problem-solving process. You just did what we did, and it was just a regular boss fight. So, like, I think it's purely because the bosses are... Because, like, back in Lei Shen days, people didn't stream. Back in Siegecrafter Black Fuse days, people didn't stream the World First stuff. So the top 5 guilds all did the boss their own unique way. That kind of just doesn't happen with streaming. It's kind of like Brood Twister, right? Like, we loved Brood Twister, even though it was super hard, because we were just the ones to figure out... We started in all 3 zones at one point. We tried different egg combinations that made the most sense, and that was really fun to figure out. But then once you get to the boss, you don't have to do that. You just do what we did, and it's just a raid boss, right? It's just one of those scenarios of, like, if everyone did the fight blind, they would have a significantly higher appreciation for it. But because it's normal in WoW to just do what the first guild did, or what the best guild did, or the people who figured it out, just for the sake of time efficiency, you don't actually have fun on those bosses like we do. What is it? I saw one guy on Reddit mentioning that the Race to World First guilds, despite the effort needed for it, is maybe the ones having the most fun, because they're the ones figuring out the stuff along the fight and everyone else... Yeah, I mean, that's basically what I just said, but I mean, that makes sense, right? It also makes sense that people copy, because even if you're not going for World First, you still want to get done with the raid as soon as possible so people can, you know, get their achievement. No one's trying to, like, progress WoW raids blind. They're just too hard. They would just take too long. What is it? But now instead of 5 guilds having more fun, thousands of people who watch the race have more fun. Oh, yeah. That's true. That's like why comm streams are so good, because if you're like streaming comms when you're figuring out a fight like that, you feel like as a viewer you're part of the problem-solving process. Like what'll happen sometimes too is I bet viewers like type like, no, they should do this, like, you're like either agreeing or disagreeing with what we're doing, but like by being a part of the process and thinking about it yourself is actually really, really fun. But you never listen to us? I just don't show chat when we're gaming. Only during breaks or when we're doing splits and stuff. And I feel like... I don't know, like if I had my chat... If I was actually reading chat, I would probably be less productive, but there's probably a time in the race where if I were to have chat open, someone would have like a really good idea. Right? I mean, there's like 30, 40, 50,000 plus people on chat sometimes. Like, there's a decent chance that one person comes up with something that's really good. Have you guys ever taken a suggestion from chat? No, just because we're not watching chat. There isn't... That can't happen. Like, think about it. My job is problem solver in Raid. I solve infinite problems, from how people are approaching a certain mechanic, how they're angling their camera to help them, how many CDs we're going to use here, how do we survive this thing, how do we... Okay, we survived this thing, and now how do we make it 10% more consistent? That's what I do, right? If I was looking at chat in between every pull, I would just be so much worse at that because I wouldn't be doing my job. I would be like basically like slacking off. I'd be reading chat for entertainment instead of doing my job, which is very important. Max, have you thought about having someone on staff to read chat? Holy shit. Just hire someone and their only job is to skim chat for good ideas. I'm just trying to imagine what that would sound like. Like, we're in the middle of cooking up something on a raid boss, and then someone pipes up, the analyst pipes up and goes, "Yo, actually, someone in chat said we should try this," and it's like the worst idea ever. And then we all... I mean, it'd be good comic relief. And then one time they have a crazy idea and it's actually good. I wonder if Nexus Princess Kaiveza is going to end up being as positively remembered as it probably should. I'll give you a few examples why I think that. So for the Race to World First, this boss was clearly overtuned, and the fact that we had to one-tank it made all of us like this boss significantly less. And then there was another round of guilds that were fighting this boss for like a week, even though they had no chance of killing it. It was just too hard, and their guild wasn't going to kill that boss. And then it got nerfed, and it felt like the boss just instantly died, and they didn't feel that level of gratification. I know Dratnos' guild went through that. And now the boss is so nerfed, but I feel like most people who kill Kaiveza now are actually going to have a very positive opinion on it. Because I think now in its nerfed version, it's still challenging, it's still really cool, it's still a fun fight to do, and it's not unfair. To where I feel like people... You're not going to kill this boss in 10 pulls. It's still going to take a long time to learn how to kill Kaiveza. But, like, you just don't have to optimize damage anymore. And I wonder if... Since that's the majority of people, I wonder how many people will have a positive opinion on it because of that. Wait, shouldn't you 5-heal it now, though, so the difficulty doesn't feel there as much anymore? Oh, I wouldn't 5-heal Kaiveza now. Probably the hardest part of the fight is the last intermission. And you would just have to learn the last intermission by 5-healing. So I don't think 5-healing is very good. I think it's a bait. I would bet it's a bait. Like, it helps you... Like, here's the positives of 5-healing. Is... It will have less people die to debuffs, and it'll fix some mistakes. It won't fix any line deaths. It won't fix any most intermission deaths. Because you can easily 4-heal the intermission with the damage that's going out since it was nerfed. It's basically just like keeping people alive. But like, it's not necessarily a hard fight to heal after the nerfs. And DPS is still really important. And being able to kill the boss... Like, basically, I don't think... 5 healing versus 4 healing with 4 good healers, mind you. So maybe for some guilds, you're getting to the point where, like, maybe they don't have 4 really good healers, so they're 5 healing to make up for that. That's different, but I think you're probably better off if you have 4 somewhat average to decent healers. I would definitely 4 heal because you're just going to end up getting to the end of the fight and you're just going to kill it a lot faster. And not have to learn parts of the fight you'd never have to learn anyway. Like, by 5 healing, you're committing to learning a really hard part of the fight. I wonder what the best 5th healer would be, actually. So I'm pretty sure the best healer situation you could run if you were to 5 heal would be to bring 2 Holy Priests. Purely for an extra symbol. So that fight is a fight where you just... The only time it's hard is when you run out of personals. And 1 symbol is extremely valuable. You can use it at the beginning and right before the last intermission. But having 2 symbols, even if it only means a 3rd total use and not 4 uses, I think would be, like, so insane for consistency. It'd be so crazy. 4 heal with nerfed Evoker. I don't know how much the nerf to Evokers matter, because, like, I know there were guilds that were on Ansarek, an insanely hard boss to heal and do. And they were progressing the boss with Preservation Evoker not being nerfed. And then Preservation Evoker got nerfed, and they still killed the boss the next day with, like, the same amount of pulls as they would have with an unnerfed Pres Evoker. Like, I was watching all of their progression, and it just, like, kind of still linearly went in the same direction. Like, it certainly made it more difficult, but, like, you could just do the same fight. You didn't need to add a healer because they nerfed that. Max, I'm sure you've answered it plenty, so I apologize, but how overall would you rate the tier? I don't know. It was the hardest and best tier ever because we won. 10 out of 10. Only one build of Pres Evoker got nerfed, and the other build we're still doing good, I think. Yeah, it's just a very different playstyle. So Flame Shaper was, like, a lot easier to play. It was actually brain dead easy. Max, how did the dogs react to seeing you finally come home? They popped the fuck off. They were vibing. They're dogs, yeah. They pretty much love all things. External Renewing Blaze is still busted enough to warrant it, I think. Depends on the fight. I think on Kaiveza, that is true. I think on Kaiveza, External Renewing Blaze is beyond ridiculous. I don't know on Ansarek if I would still play it. Probably. Is there any other player from another raid team you really appreciate and would want to raid with one day? Nah, fuck everyone else. I like who we have. Before the raid, you told me my class was the best this tier, but it is the worst. Explain yourself. What? First of all, I never gave any official opinions on how I felt about any class before the raid. I never do. But also, you have DK in your name. Are you, as a DK, trying to imply that your class is bad right now? Oh, it was a meme response. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Every single time if someone asked me if something was good, for like 2 to 3 weeks, I just said, yeah, it's the best. I didn't realize that some people could have taken that seriously. That's pretty hype. Max, how do you feel about Monk single target? My single target just feels dog shit. I don't know. I haven't really played it enough to know. Think Monk single target's pretty good. But it is interesting. Monk has always kind of been the class where their niche and why they've always been good at Mythic Plus is they do like pretty good single target, but they just everything they do cleaves. So they're always great at cleave. But now they actually don't gain as much from cleave as other melee do. Like, it's just like basically every melee is a Windwalker Monk now. If that makes sense. Just like every melee just infinite cleaves with good single target. But like now Windwalker, for whatever reason, cleaves less than the other melee do. Max, how did the raid buffs nerfs, Chaos Brand, and Int affect your comp in the end? They didn't. You just still played them. What is it? Max went on record as saying Prop Valley was the best tank in pre-patch. Do we really trust this guy to raid lead? It was. Echo ran a Prop Valley on the last boss. I told you, man. Max, what kind of raid structure are you hoping for next year? Same one as this one or a Sanctum type raid structure? Yeah, that's a good point, actually. This raid structure was really interesting, right? This raid structure was... This was about lungs, by the way. This raid structure was like... How do I make the brush thicker? There we go. So this raid structure is like first boss, right? Second boss, third boss, fourth boss, and then it's like fifth and sixth boss, and then seventh and then eighth. It's weird, right? It's a weird raid. Like, it's like so fucking linear. In fact, it's really not this, right? Like, this part's fake news. Like, this is implying there's a choice. There's no choice. The correct choice is just Brood Twister, Kaiveza, and then Silken Court. In a straight line. It's just straight fucking linear. It's normally less, right? Like, what we had for many years was the, like, Castle Nathria model, which was, like, first boss, and then it was, like, second boss, third boss, fourth boss, potentially, but it's, like, 2 wings, right? I think there was actually even... Or no, I think how it was a little different. It was like this, right? It was like, there was immediately 2 you could go to. And then they both had to be dead to do council. But then these all met up here for Sludge Fist, and then it was linear. So it's like 2 wings. 2 wings that meet together. So, like, basically, so many raids were like this. Sepulchre was like this. I guess Sanctum was maybe the closest to, like, current raid. But, like, Razageth was like this. Vault of the Incarnates was like this. The wing model, right? I don't know if I care as much about the raid design as far as how linear it is. What I think is maybe they need more than 8 bosses. And I don't mean that there should be more harder bosses. I think this raid was extremely hard with just 8. Easily the hardest 8, 9, or 10 boss raid ever, right? With 8 bosses, it was insanely challenging. Okay, but, like, I don't think when you add bosses, you need to add more difficult fights, right? Like, I think adding more than 8 bosses allows there to be a better difficulty curve at the beginning and in the middle. And I think that doesn't matter for the race at all. If going from 8 to 10 bosses just means we're going to get 2 more bosses that we one-shot. But that's not how it is for the rest of the community. Right? Even Rashanan. Rashanan isn't one-shot by most of the community. Rashanan is like 8 to 18 pulls, according to prog stats. Right? We're going to one-shot stuff other people don't. That's how that works. But I don't know. Because, like, here's the difficulty of this raid, right? You did, like, the first boss, which was super easy. You did the second boss, which is super easy. You did the third boss, which is super easy. You did the fourth boss, which is super easy. And then you did the 5th boss, which was insanely hard. Right? And then you did the 6th boss, which was even harder. And then you did the 7th boss, which was a little easier. Right? 7th boss, like, a little easier, but harder than the other one. And then the last boss, Ansurek, is nuclear difficulty, just, like, off the screen, right? Okay, when you add when you add more bosses than 8, what should be done is you separate... The first 4 bosses are always one-shot by a guild like us, right? So you just simply... you just simply do this. Right? Adding a 9th and 10th boss just means you can do something like this, right? Like, you do the 4th boss, and then you do the 5th boss, and then you do the 6th boss, or something like this, and then you continue on. Now, the end of this raid, you could argue, is still just too hard no matter what. That's not a bad argument. for most players. But like the raid desperately needed this, because when you don't have this, and let's just say for the moment you remove this, then you have a guild, the guild that's capable of this is not capable of this. And they actually don't even know why they're playing the game. They've cleared Heroic. They've cleared the 4th boss of Mythic, which is the challenge that was laid out in front of them. And it is simply not possible for them to kill a boss this hard yet. In 2 to 3 weeks, maybe, but not right now. Okay? So when you add in the 3rd and 4th boss, or the 5th and 6th boss in this scenario, this guild that's here is capable of doing this, but they're not capable of doing this. And then after they're done with this boss, they're capable of doing this. And after they're done with this boss, it's 2 weeks later, and they actually are somewhat able to do this boss by then. It's either been nerfed, or they have enough gear to where they can do this now, and they've done some more challenging things, so they're a little bit better, right? Everyone gets better in a raid tier. So like this, the raid was missing this time. And I don't know if that's a boss number problem, the amount of bosses, but to me in my head, adding more bosses allows for there to be more of a gradual jump.
Moss wars play a vital role in the upkeep of Dornagal. Water them and help eliminate the pests that burden them.
What raid had really good difficulty curve? I'm trying to think. Was it Castle Nathria? Right? Like, Castle Nathria had Shriekwing, which was hard but fair. And then you did Huntsman. And then you either did Sun Kings or Hungering. And then you did the other one of those things. And then you did either a Nerva or Zymox. And then Zymox was harder than a Nerva. And then Council Blood was harder than both of those things. But both of these were enough of a challenge to prepare you for Council. And then Sludge Fist was harder than Council. And Stone Legion was harder than Sludge Fist. And then Denathrius was harder than Stone Legion. The only reason that it was a higher pull count was because one was done in week 1 and one was done in week 2. So like I feel like Castle had like a really good one. I think Antorus is probably the best one I remember for curve. Really? I can't speak for a lot of other guilds, but we cleared everything up to Agrimar in 1 day. And I think Method actually killed Agrimar on their first raid day. So the difficulty curve was just the whole raid was kind of easy, right? Not Antorus, the one with Kill Jaden. Oh, okay. Tomb of Sargeras then. So Goroth, Demonic Inquisition, Harjatan, Sisters of the Moon. So you have 4 bosses dead, and then it's time... Oh, sorry. And then you do Desolate Host. And then you have 5 bosses dead, and it's time for Mistress. And then Mistress was really hard. Actually, I don't think Tomb had a good difficulty curve at all. I'm pretty sure Mistress Sazine was Brood Twister before Brood Twister. Because Goroth was a joke, Demonic Inquisition was a joke, Harjatan was a joke, Sisters of the Moon was a joke, Desolate Host was a super joke. 9 pulls or something, 6 boss in the raid. And then Mistress Sazine was an 100 puller. And then Maiden of Vigilance was a little bit easier than Mistress, and then Fallen Avatar way fucking harder than Maiden, and then Kill Jaden way fucking harder than Fallen Avatar. Eternal Palace was decent. Eternal Palace had the same problem, right? So Eternal Palace had extremely easy, extremely easy, extremely easy, way too fucking hard. Orgazo was easier than Ashvane. Queen's Court was easier than Ashvane. Like, people say they like mid-raid walls, but in reality, if your raid looks like this, right, where it's like easy, 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 colossal difficulty, and then it's like easy. This is a Sanctum, by the way. Like, people fawn over mid-raid walls and they're like, this fight's so cool. But like in reality, a boss right here, like Painsmith or like Anduin, just like absolutely murders guilds. Like it just does. That's what it does. It like her like mid-raid walls, I feel like, in my opinion, this is objectively worse than this. Like if you ever have a boss that's this hard, put that shit here and have something leading up to it, right? Like this same amount of bosses, they're just moved to where the easier ones are before. I think basically every raid is better with a good difficulty curve. I don't think any raid is made better by having a boss way harder at the beginning of the raid rather than later. Max, do you know what's weird is the first few Mythic bosses being easier than the last boss on Heroic? I don't think that's weird. I think it makes sense. Because, like, Mythic is, like, a harder version of that boss, but you're looking at the Mythic version of the first boss. Like, last bosses and first bosses are not made the same. It, like, totally makes sense that a last boss on Heroic is harder than the first boss on Mythic. No question. Like, it kind of feels weird for, like, the gear they drop, I suppose. Like Heroic should just drop, like if in a perfect world, the gear that drops from anything you do in the game is directly scaled off of how difficult it was to achieve it. But Mythic Rashinan shouldn't be easier than Heroic Brood Twister. Okay, I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like Mythic Rashinan is definitely harder than Heroic Brood Twister. I don't know if it's by a lot, but I would say it's harder for sure. Max, how would you feel about a wing style layout like ICC, but the last boss of each wing is hard as hell and you need to complete all before moving to the last boss? Not interconnected. So you're saying like this? So like first boss, second boss, third boss, and then it's like three bosses, right? Like the first one's here, second one is here, and the third one is like giga hard. It's gonna be hard to illustrate this well. Let me put this down a little bit. That should be easy. Like this, you're saying? Doesn't look great, but you kind of get the point. And then then it's this. Something like that. I mean, that'd be cool. And I think they've tried to do that. Like, isn't that like... That's a fuck ton of bosses? Yeah, it is a ton of bosses, yeah. But like, they kind of did this in Sepulchre, right? Like, they did the two wings before Anduin, and Lihivam and Halandris were both really hard. The thing is Lihivam was really hard in a strategy sense, but all of you guys got to skip that, and we didn't. Halandris was just execution and was hard for everybody. Right? So, like, this Sepulchre was probably the closest thing to this. That's Nyalotha. Is it Nyalotha? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and then you had, like, that big open area. Yeah, it's kind of that, except all the bosses were really easy, except for Drestagath and Il'gynoth. Like, Shadhar was easy, Hive Mind was easy, Zanesh was easy, Vexion was easy. Raden was kind of hard. Yeah, Raden, Drestagath, and Il'gynoth were really hard. $20 boss raid, what would your opinion be on that? 20 bosses. I don't know what the right number of bosses in a raid is, but 20 sounds like too much. 20 sounds like there'd be a lot of filler. and it would just be time consuming. Because, like, realistically, 20 bosses just means there's, like, 10 more easy bosses, not 10 more hard bosses. Probably just a lot of filler. I do think 10 is good, though. I like 10 bosses, and I made this argument already, but I just think, like, the solution to the Rashanan Brood Twister jump is that there are 2 bosses in between that. And that's actually, like, pretty much exactly where the extra 2 bosses in a 10 boss raid go, in the middle. They don't go at the end or the beginning. So that's I think the game needed that. Max, do you think Echo of Neltharion was objectively good for a second to last boss? I think Echo of Neltharion had really cool ideas. Unfortunately, you can't call the boss good when you progress the boss and it feels like you're progressing a map or a private aura system rather than progressing an actual raid fight. Also, they made the fight non-interesting. They gave you a bunch of walls to break, and then because of bad design decisions, and what I mean by bad design decisions is the fight was literally better in PTR, where you had more... The dot wasn't as long or as powerful, so you had the ability to, like, actually make the room look however you wanted to interestingly deal with mechanics. And then the raid went live, and they changed all of that, made the dot insane from breaking the walls, so you could just only break one thing, which means you couldn't spread out, which means you had to have a map of perfect positioning, or else you couldn't YOLO the mechanic, which is what made it a private aura disaster. But no, I don't think you could call Echo of Neltharion objectively good. I think you could almost call it objectively bad, purely because of private auras. But the fight had a lot of potential, but it's just private auras ruined it. Which, good shout out to Blizzard. People have been complaining a lot about private auras. Private auras existed in this raid. They removed them from any mechanic that would be problematic with them. And the private auras that existed in this raid, I think almost exclusively had a positive impact. They made you YOLO mechanics that you otherwise wouldn't have YOLO'd, but it wasn't fucked. So they actually did private auras well. How would you feel about something similar to Crucible of Storms? So I don't think they'll ever do a Crucible of Storms again. So, like, basically, here's what happened. Like, here's a normal raid release, right? It's like raid release 1, 6 months happen, raid release 2. All right, well, let's actually do it a different way. Raid release 1 to raid release 2, but here's how many guilds have killed the raid. Okay. So this is how many guilds would be able to do something on a new raid. So they released Crucible of Storms, like here. So the only people that could even pull Crucible of Storms were people who were already done with Jaina by now, which was a very small amount of guilds. So because of that, Blizzard tuned it to be crazy hard. Why? Because all the people that were doing it were the better guilds, right? But then, like, people were really frustrated by it. They felt like there was 2 things going on at once. And I feel like they kind of missed the point. I mean, there's a reason they haven't done Crucible since then. Here's what I think they should do. I think, this is my cook at least. This may not be good now that I'm thinking about it, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Trial of Valor worked. You guys are misunderstanding what Trial of Valor and Crucible of Storms are not the same thing. So, how they did the beginning of Legion was different than this. This is Crucible of Storms. Let me show you the beginning of Legion. Okay, so we have first raid, Emerald Nightmare, into second raid, into third raid. And remember how he did the line before of how many people have completed it? All right, here's Emerald Nightmare. Everyone back down to Crucible, or Trial of Valor. Nighthold. So, every time a new raid came out, everyone had done the previous thing because of a difficulty curve in the raids. This was how many people were done with Emerald Nightmare. Everyone. And this is how many people were done with Battle of Dazar'alor. Almost no one. They're completely different. You could say, okay, release it way later in the patch, maybe, but then you have no time to do it in time, right? It kind of has to be early, so... Anyways, let's go back to what I was going to say. Here's what I think they should do. You can release it exactly when you release Trial of Valor. But make it a little easier. And make it 10-man. Because all these people that are signed up for this line right here, those people are signed up to 20-man raids during their raid days. Realistically, until they're done, they're not going to start a new raid. So, naturally, I think it makes sense. You're not going to be able to get all 20 people to show up for an extra day to do the new raid. But maybe you can get 10 people. And then now 10 people have like an extra raid day of them progressing through some 10-man content on the weekend. And I think it would actually be a way to incorporate more people rather than... The only people who could do Crucible Storms were the very best guilds in the world at 20-man. And it was crazy hard. But like that just... The reason they haven't made another Crucible Storms is they made that content for almost no one. They made it for no reason, basically. If they do 10-man, it can actually incorporate a lot of people that are even part of these 20-man teams of the other raid. And it'll give them something extra to do if they want to, I think. I like that. I like that idea. I think it's for the best that the Blackrock Depths raid is only going to be heroic. Oh yeah, I haven't looked at anything in the patch, yeah. Max for a lot of guilds, Nerebar Palace was 2 4-boss mini raids that released 2 weeks apart. Oh, that's fascinating. That's true. That is pretty much exactly how it was.
Play a vital role in the upkeep of Dornogal.
It's also a good point is to remember people are like, dude, I wish they would do tier 11 again, like they did at the beginning of Kata. Like, why release one raid? Why not release a bunch of different raids? And like you just hop around between raids. The reality is you're just making a bunch of extra art, which slows down the progression. That's actually what takes raids the longest to be made is the art. It's a lot easier to create an extra room in Blackwing Descent than it is to create Throne of Four Winds, right? That's how that works. But basically that's what it was this raid. They could have had the first 4 bosses be in Nerebar Palace, and they could have had the last 4 bosses be just another place named something similar but different. And it would have actually been the same thing as of them making 2 completely different raids. But would that have changed anything? Like, is it actually any different? You know? Multiple raids makes pugging easier, I feel like. Why? Because there's like... I guess that kind of makes sense. Because if you're pugging, there's like a feel that you want to start at the beginning and do all 8 bosses. But if they're split up, there's like multiple starting points. I disagree. Spending 30 minutes of your raid night in Wrath going from instance to instance was beans. Bro, there ain't no way it takes you 30 minutes to go to a new raid. Dude, I'll give you, let's see. TLDR, Blackrock Depths revamp, LFR normal, and heroic difficulty, 10 to 15 players, 8 bosses with 5 mini bosses, and they're adding those bosses to the Great Vault table. Oh, that's so funny, dude. I didn't even know about that. I had no idea. I had no idea they were doing that. That's so funny. It's because the race is just this all-encompassing thing that takes so much time and effort that anything that happens before or after the raid is like non-existent. It's across that bridge when you get there. And because they don't have mythic difficulty and we don't have to prepare for it, I just don't even know about it. it just doesn't even exist. Does the raid curve smooth out with nerfs, eye level, and the buff now? Yeah, I think so. I don't know what current kills look like, but like for most new guilds, that are like getting into Mythic now, for example, someone who's going to try to get cutting edge, you're going to kill Olgrax in a few pulls. You're going to kill Bloodbound Horror in a few pulls. You're going to kill Sickran in a few pulls. You're going to kill Rashanan in slightly more pulls. You're probably going to kill Brood Twister in 30 to 50. You'll probably kill Nexus Princess in 60 to 100. You'll probably kill Silken Court in 100 to 200. And it's kind of hard to tell with Queen Ansarek. Queen Ansarek is a nuclear difficulty boss. If your all's guild is not very good, you shouldn't even attempt this boss right now. 30 to 50 for what? You guys think Brood Twister post nerfs is more than that? Maybe you're right. I maybe am out of touch about that. Let's see. Prog strats. Damn, so Brood Twister's harder than Kaiveza now? Because someone said someone did Kaiveza on 70 pulls. Brood Twister Ovanax. Yeah, you can't look at old numbers though. So like, fuck. Pull count. I mean, there are people doing Brood Twister in under 100 pulls, and that wasn't any of the really good Race World First guilds. Those are all post nerf. Look. I mean, the majority are still over 100, but also that's skewing for people that were doing it before the nerfs as well. Looks like the average is still over 100, but like saying you can't kill Brood Twister under 100 is not true. People have done it. People have done it in like 60 pulls. You said 30 to 50? Well, I mean, yeah, clearly I was wrong. I didn't know it was still this high, but okay, that's fine. And then what about Nexus Princess now? Wait, so Nexus Princess is easier than Brood Twister now after the nerfs? It looks like it. There's been someone who's killed Nexus Princess in 50 pulls, and there's more guilds that have done it sub 100 than Brood Twister. Wow, that's fucking crazy to think about. 29 recorded kills. Well, that's still because people are doing Brood Twister first. I don't know. Like if you're gonna be, I'm gonna be honest with you. I actually think there's a chance after the nerfs that going to Kaiveza first is actually correct. There's 5 times the amount of kills. That I don't think that's relevant. Like, that was true before. Because it's just the boss you go to after. So every Nexus Princess kill requires you having killed Brood Twister first. Because I don't think there's anyone that's decided to go to Nexus Princess yet. But it wouldn't surprise me if that was actually the right thing to do. Who fucking cares, though? You could do either. I mean, they look relatively similar in difficulty for sure. They are different kinds of mechanics. Like, okay, let me guess. Is the hardest part of Brood Twister progression having 8 people go to the correct eggs the whole fight? Or is it like one of the hardest things? So that's like pattern recognition and like learning different variations and kicks. Yeah, I can see the kicks. Swirlies. Oh yeah, it's hard to see the boss. Hard to see under the boss. Yes, I mean, like, if you think about it, Nexus Princess and Brood Twister are a lot different. Because, like, Brood Twister's, like, specific assignments, kick assignments, and, like, go to a specific spot assignments are really hard for guilds. That's, like, what made Anduin hard. Like, every single thing on Anduin was an assignment. And as you go lower down the guild level, you're definitely you're gonna struggle more with that than, like, throughput or, like, personal dodges. Like, basically, Nexus Princess now is almost exclusively a dagger dodging simulator. If you can make it through daggers, you just kill the fight, and that can be easier as a singular thing rather than everything that Brood Twister's trying to do to you. But I haven't progressed in one of these guilds in a while. I have raid-led guilds and played in guilds that were like lower level before, and I've like tried to gain that perspective. I haven't done that in years though, so I couldn't tell you from the perspective of being on one of these bosses, but it wouldn't surprise me if going Nexus Princess first was easier. If anything, I think it's similar, and I don't think your choice to do one or the other would burn you. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go blow up real quick. You're kind of hoping Reptar would sit on the chair. I don't even know if he knows how to get up here. He likes doing his own thing. Without knowing the boss is on live and only data from PTR testing, how high is your success rate predicting how you're playing the boss beforehand? I mean, it's high for what you can plan for. I think PTR testing is super overrated, though. I would say 80% of what we use in the raid, ideas we use, strats we use, is all developed after PTR testing and during live. You come up with ideas during PTR. There's some times where you can like kind of fully game plan a boss, like Nexus Princess or something. But a lot of the time it changes. And the last boss is almost all of it, and you don't see any of that, so... But I think we're pretty good at figuring stuff as much as we can figure out on PTR. It's just not a lot. Everyone pulling Brood Twister should turn on Arachnophobia mode. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm assuming people already know about that, but... Yeah, for some reason, if you don't have Arachnophobia mode on Brood Twister, you see massive spiders. But if you turn on Arachnophobia mode, it's like the smallest model of crab, and it makes it way easier to see everything. It's way better, for sure. Especially as a melee. Dude, you all see those fucking iRobot ass looking things from Tesla? By the way? That shit was insane. Let's see. What are they called? Twitter, what was the name of the thing? Optimus? I just want to... Yeah, dude. There's like... Where, okay, actually, here they are. You can, like, have conversations with them. You have them do shit around your house. Like, I bet the first generation of these things are going to be, like, comically dog shit. They're probably going to be super bad. But it's kind of crazy to think about. I mean, it's straight out of, I mean, it's like straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But, shit could be sick for sure. Dude, if I could pay for a robot that just simply broke down all the cardboard boxes in my house and, like, just did random monotonous tasks, that would be fucking sick. But, I bet they're gonna be really bad for a long time. But I like that someone's doing it, though. Max, hey Max, do you think as guilds get to they will struggle with as they current X... What? Did you miss some words in there? Tesla's Race World first team bound to win every tier. Dude, just imagine you're doing the race and someone else is streaming the race and they have robots playing. And it takes them a few pulls to program it right, but they just program them to never get hit by daggers or do anything wrong, and then it's fully automated, and then they... I mean, that would just be like a different world, you know? You would just, They There'd be 2 brackets. There'd be the human category and the robot category. Any idea when the world first merch will ship? I have no idea. I know that specifically the stuff we sell after we win, so like the derp shirt where the spider's dead, or like the specific winner's tee and winner's hoodie, they don't pre-make those for obvious reasons, because like if we don't win, like what do you do with those? So they have to like get a certain amount of people, and then you have to know how many they're going to make, and then they make them and then they ship, so it's like a little delayed. Wait, someone said I've already got my Race World first drop. Oh, wait, what? Even the, like, post-winner stuff? Like, the stuff after we won? That's kind of crazy if that's true. I haven't even gotten that shit yet. Dude, I wish there was a BlizzCon this year, man. It would be in a month. It'd be the second BlizzCon in a row we go to as the winners. It's always great to show up as the winners. You just walk around like you fucking own the place. But it's unfortunate. I don't even think they're doing like a virtual BlizzCon, right? It's just like nothing. Is there a BlizzCon in the EU? I don't think so, no. Max, how you feeling now? I feel mostly recovered. I still have a lingering cough. And I still am a little fatigued. And I have low blood pressure at the moment. But it's been a lot better, for sure. Still unable to get back to hockey. Yesterday I had a skate that absolutely killed me. Actually, I kind of want to go play tonight. Let me see if there's open time, actually. If there is, I probably will. Just because I need to get back into it. I just need to skate my lungs off until I'm back. It appears there are no open times. I can check one more rink. Getting winded super hard way too fast sucks. It's fine. I like approach that really well. What I do if I want to get in game shape is I just play like 2 to 3 games a night for like a couple weeks, and then I just start only playing 1 game a night, but then I can skate much harder during that game because my conditioning's better. I basically just play extra games for conditioning, and then I stop subbing and play better once I get my wind. My problem right now isn't that. My problem is that my body literally can't sustain the amount of exercise I normally do until it recovers from whatever like bronchitis I just had. No, it does not appear I can skate tonight, but I probably should do like a long run or bike. Damn, I wonder if I want to play little D4. See if Nick or Lip are playing. Nick is playing. Thing is, the only problem with I still find with D4 is they've made the like gearing process so much better. They've made it last days longer while still being fulfilling. The only problem in D4, man, is there isn't anything to apply your suit. Okay, let's say like you're playing the game to make your character fucking huge. And there's a lot of ways to do that. But then once your character's fucking huge, what do? There's no... Like, when the game first released, there was Lilith, which was an impossibly hard boss you could gear for and progress. But there's nothing like that in the game. Everything's easy. right? It's like I don't. They need to add like something at the end. They added raid content, but it's super easy. But it's a nice start. None of the bosses are hard. High Pit is just a numbers game. It's not interesting. Feels like they giga missed the tuning for the T4 raid. Completely agree. It was so easy. That being said, though, do you think it's the best idea for Diablo? Here's who did the raid. Me, Ben, Nick, and Lip. People who have been professionally killing raid bosses for 5+ years of their life, right? Do you think for Diablo's average audience, it's smart for them to make a raid that would challenge us at gear? Probably not, right? Like, that's not who the average Diablo player is. So, like, maybe it's just the wrong game, but it would be super fucking nice if it was, you know? Did you see when Ben fought this crazy juice PoE bosses? No, I didn't watch any of it. Most of it was during the raid. Wait, when does Team Liquid League play next? And who do they play? I haven't really followed Worlds at all. The race just sucks you out of everything. Tomorrow? Tonight? Middle of the night tonight? Are they doing good? Looking good? I'm assuming I don't recognize the name GAM, which means it's probably a Chinese or Korean team, which means they're probably better. They're in the losers bracket. Vietnamese team. They aren't doing good. I mean, I don't know. It seems to me it seems like almost impossible that a NA or EU team could win Worlds. Like there's just more talent in the other regions, and they also are taking it more seriously. I just don't. You just can't compete with that. So you're saying you gotta be Asian? Not really. It's just like think of it with like Olympics, right? It's like think about the United States and soccer. Like most other countries in the world, if you are like the best athlete in that country or you're a top tier athlete, what are the chances that you're gonna play football? It's like 70%, right? It's like it's whatever it is, it's the highest percent. Like if you're a top tier athlete, that's the popular sport. That's the one that's making the money. That's getting the attention. That's the one where your heroes play it. Most European, South American countries, that's the sport you play in that country. Like that's where all of your talent is going towards. Like in America, for example, soccer is probably one of the lowest, right? Like if you're a top tier athlete in this country, there's an extremely small chance you want to be a soccer player. So if you look at it that way, why would you ever be competitive internationally with other teams in that sport? It doesn't add up. Like you're putting not your best athletes against their best athletes. You're going to get shit on. Right? So it's the same thing in esports, right? Like think about Counter-Strike. For the longest time, like Counter-Strike was not the most popular game to play in NA, but in EU, dude, especially Eastern Europe, Counter-Strike was fucking cultural. Like it's not something you did or didn't do. You like went hard at Counter-Strike. It was a cultural thing. In NA, it was never that. In NA, you're much more likely to sit on your couch and play Call of Duty. It's just a different culture, right? So is NA going to compete with... Is NA's best CSGO talent going to compete with EU's? Fucking no way. Or not consistently. Because you're not putting your talent there. It's the same thing in League, right? Like, if you're a really, really talented gamer in NA right now, what are the chances that, like, you put your talents towards something like League of Legends in 2024? It's probably decent, but it's nowhere near the level of, like, being Korean or Chinese or being sick at games. League is the thing. It's number one. And it will probably always be, or it will be for a long time. So, naturally, you have, in China's case, a higher population, and you have that being the number one game. So, naturally, over time, you're not going to develop similar talent. It's just not how that works. It's just a different thing. Like in NA, even NA versus EU, like, if you were a gamer in NA, I'm just going to make up a number. There's like a 70 to 80% chance that you're going to, like, play games casually on your couch on a console. In EU... let's just say that's 60%, right? Because it's just... in EU, I think you're relatively more likely to play games competitively than casually relative to NA. Not in general, but just relative to NA. And then you run those numbers, you run the amount of people playing certain games. It all adds up. The sports, Olympics, esports versus, like, how popular games are, it all kind of just makes sense. It also helps in Asia that they still largely play in internet cafes from a young age, and the competition inside those is crazy. Yeah, we actually saw that when we were in Korea. We went to a PC bong, and it was first of all, it was hype. That was sick. I would have loved that when I was a kid. But yeah, gaming's just more important. Playing games just became cool in NA like 5 years ago. And even then, it's, like, kind of more cool to play it casually. Where I think in other countries, it's, like, it's cool to be the best at it. And I think in NA, you care more about content creation and, like, personalities than you do about skill. That's what sells. That's what makes money. In EU, I think that's still true, but, like, a little different. Like they worship people like Get Right and... millions of CS pros. It's like a different level of fandom. Did you just who Get Right? Oh my god. Faker is a god in Korea? Yeah, Faker's a tier 1 celebrity in Korea. Like someone's grandma will know who Faker is. Max knows Get Right. I met Get Right at TwitchCon. It's pretty cool. I've had Thanksgiving dinner with Fifth Lauren. I know his wife is one of my managers. Max, do you think my grandma knows you? I think there's 0 chance. I know there's one grandma who knows me, which is WoW Grandma. But I don't think I'm well known in the grandma circuit. When's your next undercover rating? I don't know, man. Whenever. Not even your own grandma knows you? They did. Both of my grandmas unfortunately passed away. Like it was like 10 years ago and 15 years ago. My mom and dad had me pretty late. They had me when they were like 37 or something. So my grandparents also had them pretty late. So they were like really old when I was young. They were the goats though. Fucking love Grandma Olivia. Goddamn beast. Max, hey Max, how does it feel to lose against Method after what Echo did to them last raid? Huh? Dude, is bro living in like a completely different reality? Dude, that'd be fucking hype. I actually think that would be one of the most hype things ever, is if you could just be temporarily placed into another version of your own reality and just see the differences. Like that guy. That guy's just fucking in some other shit right now. Like, bro, am I getting gaslit right now? Did I lose the method this race? That'd be fucking insane. Max, did you guys find the raid to be easier than previous raids? No, this raid was impossibly hard. Or were you guys just that locked in and prepared? I mean, we were just as prepared and locked in as normal. We just played the game. It was good. It was nice. Oh no, Max is having an episode and thinks they won again. Dude, guys, stop gaslighting me. I'm pretty sure we won, man. Stop. Come on. I'm not having a fucking episode. Come on. Dude, didn't Wowhead make like a post about that today? Didn't they? I saw a screenshot of what looked like a, here's all the best plays from the Race to World First or something. Did I look at, maybe I looked at the wrong thing. It was Raider.io did? Where do you see Raider.io articles? Looks like right here, but... Race hasn't happened yet, dude. Having another episode. This, guys, we're not doing this bit. We're not doing this bit. Oh, okay. Wait, where is this? Community, maybe? What happens when I click on community? Maybe if I click on the race? Oh, there's Race for World First Awards. Welcome to the Race World First Awards, Nerebar Palace. Vote now. Alright, let's do it. Log in. Oh, I have to make a fucking Raider.io account? Well, apparently I already have one. Max, what do you think about the new raid Heart of Fear? Guys, you're not gonna gaslight me into thinking that I'm, like, in a different year. Like, I'm fucking mentally here. Okay, you're making me sound crazy having to even defend this. Like, guys, I'm... Oh, fucking goddamn it. Okay, we're just gonna read this thing. Okay. Best Wipe Award. What does that mean? Like, are there some examples? Look at the picture? The... What? Okay, the answer has to be Method. Because Method wiped on the fucking first boss. And they... in spectacular fashion. Is this on a stream somewhere? Twitch.tv/Method. There has to be... Wait, you have to click on nominees? I'm clicking here. There's nothing to click on. Maybe it's a clip? Clip. Top 30 days. Come on, there has to be a clip of them wiping on the first boss. It looks like it might be this. This is it. Okay, so dude, somehow on the first boss, Method convinced themselves to like find a safe spot in the intermission to do these ads. Which is like, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. Like if you never have to think about dodging. And then you also stack up all the meat in one spot. And it's also close to where the boss will be. Like, there's precedent. But it's the fucking first boss, man. I didn't know you could do that. Well, let's see if you can do that. Boom! And then, like, they're visually tilted or laughing. They're like, well, that didn't work. It's like, yeah, because you just don't try to do that on a first boss. Okay, nominees. Best Wipe Award. Okay. View all the nominees here. Wait, I'm so
Our first category.
Okay, here we go. Let's watch this. Best Wipe.
Is one every raider knows too well. Best Wipe. These moments crushed the dreams of the top guilds, but made for some of the most exciting highlights. The nominees are Method with a sub 1% wipe on Queen Ansarek.
What? Bro.
If anyone can try and drag this
Use
out
the
with
first
anything,
boss.
like
I would have voted for that.
Then do it. It's really important you get through the ring with these.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, one went off immediately. Someone...
Fat Shark, yes, with a 0.3.
I mean, so this is just who wiped the lowest, but like, that's like a weird category because ideally you don't want to wipe, right?
% wipe on Silken Court.
Or are we just gonna vote for the lowest wipe? Bro, didn't Fat Shark Yes wipe? Didn't Fat Shark Yes wipe at like 0.01% on Ansarek? Like it had like 1,000,000 HP? Their idea of best is the most soul-crushing wipe instead of funny. Okay, let's look at it that way then.
Liquid with a 1.76% wipe on Ansarek.
Didn't we even have a lower wipe than this?
3% onto the boss. This is a new best as people start going down. 2.2%, 2%, 1.9.
We were never soul crushed though. We literally had this pull happen and we were like, dude, this boss is so fucking dead. This boss is so fucking dead.
It's just not enough.
Echo with a 0.98% wipe on Ansarek.
Okay, this award is super boring. We're gonna skip it and just go to the next one. Okay, so best wipe, I guess we just vote, I don't know, like Fat Shark, yes, I guess, I don't know. It just seems really dumb. All right, best boss mechanic. All right, this is interesting. Let's look at best boss mechanic.
Next, it's all about the boss that defined the race.
You know what? It might be this. This is a really fucking cool mechanic. Like, really cool. Like, no weak auras needed. Just watching it. It doesn't... They made it not stun you. It's kind of sick.
Ansarek's reactive toxin and froth.
Okay, it might be this. Wait, why are they going to show this one? Bro, you're not going to show a POV where you do 4 of them? I feel like the answer is reactive toxin. Reactive toxin's really fucking cool. It's got to be this. All right, and then what's the other one? What'd they call it?
Silken Court's Web Bomb and Burrow Charge.
Actually, this... It might be this one. You know, fun fact, this was our PTR strat on Silken Court. Like, the opposite partners sit in ranged and do the whole fight. And we just didn't want to do it on progression. We were like, it caused so many problems. They were giga out of range. The charges were super annoying, and we just did it a different way. But, like, this was actually our PTR strat, and we changed it to what we did. But this is an insanely cool mechanic. So far, this is my favorite.
Cancer X Phase 3 portals.
What? This is like... Nah. Bro, this is... Zymox did it first, buddy. You talking about the goddamn Zymox mechanic? This is mid. This is fucking mid.
Ivasa's Nether Rifts.
Okay, it could be this. It's this, right? I feel like this is the coolest mechanic all tier. The suck mechanic on this fight.
Which mechanic was the...
It's definitely Kaiveza. It's definitely Kaiveza. It's still it's Kaiveza. Has to be. No, don't take me to a different page. I gotta make 2 pages. God damn it. Okay, we have a vote now page, and then we have the nominees. So vote now. We're doing... Actually, let's just vote for us, because W Liquid. It's just such a stupid category. Nexus Princess Nether Rift for sure. Best User Interface Award. Okay, let's rate some UIs.
A good UI can make all the difference in a world-first race, and these nominees have set the bar high. The nominees for Best User Interface are Miniog from Echo.
Okay, so regular raid frame position. He's got, like, as a DPS player, really surprising. He actually has, like, raid cooldowns on there. But then it's just, like, normal weak aura package. You have your resources, your buffs, and then your buttons that you care about under that and everything else hidden. He has the timers under there. Emphasize timer here. Echo has a weak aura package that has, like, all important things as a bar right here. But, I mean, this is just, like, a minimalist UI. Pretty basic. But good. Hopefully they give some variety here.
QAQ from
Oh,
Zbox.
Supreme! Okay, so he's got, like, the important stuff down here, real big. Offensive stuff in a box to the left of his character. And then he just uses Blizzard's straight up resource bar. Or the personal display or whatever it's called. Okay. A little different. I like that.
Cardonis from Instant Dollars.
I have no idea. I've never seen this person's UI. I mean, they're just all so similar. Right?
Nick from Liquid.
Nick? This is just like a basic... Bro, they're all the same. They're just like basic-ass UIs. This is so random. I'll vote for Nick, though. W Nick.
Nate from Method.
This is like Ben Tank UI, kind of. Same concept.
Which UI would you want in your raid? Make sure to vote for Best User Interface.
I mean, there's nothing interesting here, so the answer just has to be Nick, right? W Nick. Best Race to World First Meme Award. Crab Mode Kaiveza. Wowhead Where Are We? Echo Knex Wide Walk. Method Splits Mood. Liquid Drat Uwu. I don't know what any of these mean, so this will be new to me.
Sometimes
Wait, this is Best Hero Play. Best Race to World First Meme Award. Here we go.
the Race to World First isn't all serious. There are plenty of laughs too. Here are your nominees for Best Race to World First Meme. Raider.io's Crab Mode.
I do not leave witnesses. None will be spared.
Wow,
All right.
where are we?
Nominating yourself. Wait,
Echo.
what is that? I never even seen that, but I was a little busy, so.
Echoes Canex Wide Walk.
Ready and waiting.
Yay!
He's back in the raid.
I think indeed we might be seeing a little bit of Canex coming in once again. No
That's
matter
pretty good.
How many times we try.
That's
There
pretty good,
goes
but
the-
they're my enemy.
Liquids Drat Uru.
Okay, I don't know what this means.
Chen,
Okay. All right, this isn't good.
you're like the bestest caster in Team Liquid. I really look up to you and admire all your amazing skills and competency. You are so good at everything you do, and I can't help but be in awe of you.
Methods
Dude. Dude. I'm not voting for that. I'm sorry.
reactions.
I can't do it. Method's nomination is a tweet that got 100 likes? Bro, where's fuck Walmart? I can't even vote on this in good conscience. It's just missing stuff. I don't even know what to vote. I'm not even voting. Best Hero Play Award. I mean, people are just going to vote for the THD thing. Even though Zevi's save was actually a closer time span to us wiping, and also Dryny would have definitely gotten that essence. But it's all good. The gate made it look cool. And it sounds like I'm mad. I mean, THD did something awesome. It was great. But I mean, like, he's going to win the award. That's good. So wait, what are the three... What are the other two Hero Play awards? Now returns to save the day. Okay, let's watch that. And then Method Quarantine Camp Raiders Race with COVID. How is that a good play?
It takes just one player stepping up to save the entire raid. Here are the nominees for Best Hero Play. THD from Liquid on Ansarek.
I'm killing an ad, bro. Hey,
Okay.
I put a curse of tongues on one of the guys.
Yeah.
Look,
Okay.
boom.
No reaction. I just said okay.
W.
Now's return.
Dude, I
to
love how they
Race to
showed the part where I had zero reaction to it.
World first.
Okay.
Methods Quarantine Camp pulling through in the clutch.
Okay, so now just coming back. Cool. And then what is the Method thing?
Which
What? There's only one play on this entire fucking thing. What is Raider.io cooking? What are they talking about? We got COVID. What? I mean, I guess they're saying it's a hero play for playing through COVID. We had to do that in a previous raid. That fucking sucks. I mean, that's definitely... Wait, yeah, they stayed up till 4 a.m. killing a boss with COVID people. That is pretty crazy.
Quarantine Camp pulling through in the clutch.
I mean, this is just like, maybe they just knew THD would win, so they just put in zero effort. WTHD. Best Nerd Scream Award. I mean... What? There's... How could you vote for anything else? I actually feel like we should be on here like 4 times. I actually feel like the top 4 things would just all be our nerd screams for Brood Twister, Kaiveza, Silken Court, and then the last boss. We had crazy good nerd screams on all of them. Some of these guilds had literally zero reaction to killing the bosses they killed. I mean, that's gotta be us, right? Let's watch it again, though, just to feel fucking hype.
There's nothing quite like the pure emotion of a nerd scream, whether it's a shout of victory or a groan
I hope
of
they show me
frustration.
moving like the
The
Flash.
nominees are Liquid on Queen Ansarek.
There's an essence all the way at the end.
Wait, they're showing fired up. Yay.
Just do not touch the essence. It's fucking gas.
Come on! Come on! Come on! Let's go!
Okay, then fired up just starts bouncing. But they don't even show that part. Bro, there's a multi-POV where it shows everyone doing it. What's going on here? Come on, Raider.io. Alright, Method Ansarek.
Method on Queen Ansarek.
Let's see what they do.
Just slam the boss. It's gonna be real tight again.
There is one right under the boss. And
I will get it. I will get it. I will
Ring
get it.
cast, just keep slamming, don't move, just DPS. Just DPS. DPS, 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 DPS.
Oh my god. That's a pretty real, that's a good one. That's a good one. I didn't actually know that. They got pretty hype.
User joined your channel.
That's GG, I guess.
User joined your channel.
User joined your channel.
I mean, all persons, immunities.
Method.
W.
1%.
We sync this.
Okay, the method one's pretty sick because they stayed up so late.
We are sub 1%.
Where were you? Where were you?
GTang Hong.
Dude, that night must have sucked so bad because a few of them were sick, but also when you get really hyped like a kill, really hyped for a kill like this, you can't go to sleep for hours. Like in extreme examples, when we won, none of us went to bed till like 7 a.m. Even though people were really tired. It's not like you could not have gone to sleep. You were just so filled with adrenaline and excitement. So like they stayed up till 4 a.m., which was already like hella late, but then I bet they also took them forever to go to sleep.
GTang Hong on Ansarek.
I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this. Oh, it's turbo dead. Oh, dude, I'm gonna vote for them. I think that dude broke shit.
Hit you the hardest. Vote for the best.
I mean,
stream now.
It would be crazy if we didn't win this. Like it has to be us, right? I don't know. That's pretty close. The dude broke shit. That's crazy. All right, and then best overall production. I mean, I feel like we windmill dunked this time, and the viewership showed it. The viewership increase. Let's see though. What are their examples they're giving here?
Finally, it's time to recognize the teams that brought the race to World.
I'm biased though.
Homes. The nominees for best overall production are Liquid and Maelstrom.
During Mythic testing, they had different VFX on those marked assassins like you guys were talking about. Instead of
they're gonna they did a Zalatath and Tettles went on a date. They did Cams and Dratnos as Dora the Explorer going around the thing, and they're gonna show some random commentary on a Kaiveza wipe.
actually being the entire assassin that was marked, it was just their eyes, and it was kind of difficult to tell which mob you were actually supposed to send through the boss. So
bro,
it's
what?
a little clearer now as to what mob is supposed to be going through the boss. There's also that phase where if you've done the fight on heroic and normal, it's kind of a similar thing where the portals will actually start dragging you towards other portals, and they pull a lot.
Man, I guess it shows Tettles explaining the fight, but like I don't know.
Go Esports.
Team member dead, which is excellent news. We don't want more than one red team member dead because they are the ones responsible for tripping up the upcoming boss. Still all red team members alive. We're going to go back in and soak our orbs. Even with no tanks, there's nothing to tank just yet. Hopefully we can at least interrupt the charge. We've got one more orbs. Yeah. So we got to be a little bit more.
Okay, so they went for like the informative angle.
Proactive maybe would be the one.
I mean, I think the informative angle is really important for these productions because like you would just watch a comm stream, well not on Echo side, but like you would just watch a comm stream if you like really knew the game. But like I think the casters are especially for people who like are trying to understand what's happening. So focusing on that is good, but I also think a ton of the value comes from sheer entertainment.
In terms of collecting those orbs, this is panic. It is a little bit all over the place. They do
method
over them. Don't walk over the essences.
I don't think we have the damage.
Come on, do the hype casting.
I don't
4% left on the box.
Wait, they're gonna show best casters and it involves their casters saying, "Ooh, I don't think they have the damage on the kill."
Pumping out all that damage on the boss. She is AFK right now. We just need to send everything we have into her. Going into sub 1%. Is Ansarek going down?
Dungeon.
They didn't even show a die.
Gojo.
Over $1,000 raised.
Oh, so Dungeon. This is actually really cool. I think Dungeon Dojo, I don't know if they even cast the race. I think the purpose of this is, I think they cast for like a bunch of other guilds. Or were they casting the race? Because, like, right now, who are they showing? Who is this? I don't recognize any of these names.
For Make-A-Wish Foundation, myself, Wochi, and Kex are all going to be doing
It's Leggett.
A maid outfit stream. I believe we're going to play Fortnite together, Kex. So.
Fortnite maid stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not just like you do your own thing wearing a maid outfit. You actually have to join me and Wochi and do.
Do I go black or pink?
Who had the best stream? The best.
It's us. W Liquid. W Liquid. W Liquid. Let's fucking go. Submit registration. Do I have to vote on something? Best user interface. All right, I guess I'm voting for Nick. Or best Race World First meme. Maybe I'll vote for the Liquid one, just being a homer, but like, I never want to see that ever again. W. Successfully submitted. That seemed like pretty low effort. They didn't even have any of the best memes in there. You know? I mean, actually, Method randomly did have a ton of damage on their kill. Like, the fact that they killed the boss with 3 DPS dead for that long means they were definitely really far ahead. Liquid starts with an L, not a W. Liquid up. Liquid up. What's up? All right. Doggies. Reptar, come say hi. Oh, Reptar. Are you hyped, Reptar? Oh, row. Reptar. Row. Reptar. Row. Row. Oh, hi, Ella. Oh, shit. Hey, girl. What's up? What a big girl. What a big, sweet girl. Do you hear Reptar talking? Row. Hey, Ella, you big sweetie. Best meme was fired up trivia during splits. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was great. Hi, girl. You're so good. You're such a good girl. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, I think I'm all yapped out today. I think I've had my oh. All right, someone wants to be at the center of attention here. Oh my god. Okay. Hi. Ella, what the fuck? That was nasty. Hi. Y'all hear that shit? She like burped. She like burped into the microphone. Oh, hi, Ella. Hi, girl. You hit a little burp, doggy? Ella. Ella. Okay. I'm gonna get out of here. I think I'm gonna go blow up and lay down and eat food and blow up. Thank you for tuning into my World of Warcraft stream today.